Mik'd Up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good time. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in, say,
oh, God.
So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. Helmet. He's punching me in the stomach, like, steady punching me.
Here, and there's everyone sitting around. Who here thinks Ovchinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team
6 minutes.
for 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ovchinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I fucking saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
Be on the spirit plane had some issues. I think she was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled.
Whoa. What was that?
Time to start the show.
Why would I have that?
You had the circus or something.
6:03, I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad tell you about
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they're
all fatter than him.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
Yeah. He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Good evening. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, May 1st. It's the first day of, what does April showers bring?
Mayflowers.
Mayflowers.
And not parchment paper.
Not parchment paper. We had a little disagreement off air. We're explaining to Lloyd. I got the sniffles, so just bear with me today with my
long
sniffles.
weekend for
Welcome to
Mikey.
my world, mother.
These allergies are whooping my ass, but it's okay. Welcome to Mik'd Up. We have a big show for you today. It used to be Jay Johnson Mondays. It is now Ask Mikie and Mitch Mondays.
I did want to open up with first of the month, but
You saw it happen last time somebody did that.
Yeah, that's not for you.
Alex Milazzo in studio at 7 o'clock
who's in Paris?
to talk about his season. It's been a kind of his last 2 years have kind of been up and down. He's getting the opportunity to get some playing time. He's hitting better than he has probably in his career. He's still catching really well. We're gonna have him in here talk. The word on the street is, or the word in the locker room is, he is very entertaining. He is one of the funnier guys on the team.
Don't set him up like this. People, this
No,
happens
no,
to me every
he's
now
not
and
like a
then.
goofy, like, I'm going to be like a stand-up comic, but, like, he's got good personality.
I don't know. I think usually the way it usually goes is if somebody's actually funny, like, you
Don't
want
try.
people to know, so like people understand like where this is coming from, right? Like when you put a comic on the stage, like if they start telling jokes, you start laughing like if it's
Right.
good. So like
No.
I'm cool with it.
I'm good with it.
I want to see him bring it too. So
Yeah, what if
I'm
he has
with
a
it.
dry sense of humor that makes him funny? If you don't know he's funny, then you're going to probably take his dry sense of humor too seriously and not laugh at it, which you probably should
Yeah,
laugh
Lloyd,
at it.
I'm okay with setting him up to be him. That's
Yeah.
fine with
I'm
that.
just saying, as somebody that's been described as that, whatever, it's the first thing that people say. They expect a lot from you, and it's not.
So
Make me a
you're
bicycle clown.
So you're
It's
basically
exactly
telling me
that.
like when the limelight's on you, you kind of shrivel up.
Yep.
Like okay, I get it.
Well, yeah,
I understand.
well, I don't
Can't
want-
count on, can't count on him in the clutch.
Snail goes back into the shell a little
Can't
bit.
count
I
on him in
don't.
the clutch.
Well, no, because people act like I have like canned jokes. I'm not that type of comedian.
You don't sit in the
So you
media
just
in
didn't
front of
deliver
Jared.
when people have done this to you. I get it.
Yeah, say something funny right now, Jared.
I'm not funny.
Oh,
He's not.
I'm laughing.
I'm not
Are
funny.
you?
Me no funny.
Yeah.
Let's go down. It was a big weekend. Let's get down the Heineken headlines and then talk about our weekend a little bit before we really jump
I have
into
the
the
Heineken headlines.
we jump into the world of sports, right? Like I
Y'all
said,
might need a glass of water for this
yeah,
headline.
no doubt. Well, I'm going through the whole thing. Alex Milazzo, as I said, is in studio. LSU Baseball gets another sweep. That's 7 straight SEC victories. They have done it in a variety of different ways. Obviously, Paul Skeens went back to Paul Skeens' form. He only gave up 1 run in 6 innings. Didn't strike out double digits. First game all season, minus the one that he got rained out in 3 innings.
Someone in the studio called it.
Somebody did. That was one thing that you called. That was one. That was good. You did good.
You've been good on the Skeens line.
Yeah,
It's
yes.
Everything else we've struggled.
Yeah, yes, we have. Our picks and clicks
Part
did
of
not click. That's okay. A lot of other people clicked. LSU out-hit Alabama on Sunday. Alabama was a very good team. LSU swept them. It was a big sweep because it was a good team. Alabama had a chance to win 2 of the games. LSU ended up winning all 3. They are now a half game back of Vanderbilt and the overall SEC lead. They have the same amount of wins, one less.
Same amount of losses.
Same
one
amount of
less.
losses,
Yeah.
one less win because of that game that they lost against South Carolina. South Carolina lost the series to Auburn, so now they are there's a
Game
3-way battle in the East for the division. There's really only a 2-way battle right now in the West between LSU and Arkansas. LSU has a 2-game lead on Arkansas in the loss column. The Saints finished out their draft. They feel like they had a pretty strong draft. I feel like they finished the draft the way that they wanted to. It was crazy. They didn't really trade all that much. There wasn't a lot of movement. They had 1 trade in the draft. But their big pick, their first few picks, they just stayed put and were patient and did what they needed to do. So shout out to that. LSU had 6 guys drafted in that draft class. They did not have a first rounder. B.J. Ojulari went very early in the second round. They had 6 overall players drafted, which in a down year, that's pretty good. Right? In a year where you're not expected to have a ton of guys, having 6, I think it was, third most in the SEC behind Georgia and Alabama. That's obviously also a win. Last year they had 10 guys when people didn't think they were going to get that many. So I think LSU is in a really good position. I think they had, 5 other guys, 6 other players that got signed as undrafted
6
free
or
agents.
7, right? Yeah.
Yeah, some of those guys I feel like are going to make the team on the teams that they had signed with. But all in all, it was a good draft. Obviously, Kayshawn goes to the Patriots. Me and Jared had a conversation through text message after that happened that I feel like that could be a really good thing, or it's going to push him out pretty quick. I don't think there's any middle ground. It could be exactly what he needed to get back on track and be the guy that everybody anticipated him to be. But it's Monday. It is the first day of May. It now turns to finals are about to start. The postseason baseball feeling is about to start happening. And this is like the best time of the college baseball season. Major League Baseball is really starting to ramp up. You finally feel like you're getting out of the cold months. And the weather here in Louisiana is starting to really it's starting to be really good. Really good golf weather. Right, Lloyd? We had some golf.
You mean really warm is coming soon.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that. We had some good golf games this weekend. Oh, never mind. I forgot. You didn't play.
Yeah, I got big league by Mikey
No,
about 3
Lloyd-
times this weekend. It's
Lloyd-
okay.
Lloyd
Somebody's going to make the mistake of the day and he doesn't know it yet.
Lloyd did not respond to my text messages to play golf. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I just asked him where he
How was your weekend?
It was fine.
What did you do?
I had to watch the game by myself.
Don't try to get short with me like you do with your girlfriend.
I get tall with her.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey. Well, she's.
How was your
shorter than
weekend? How was your
Good.
weekend?
It was a good weekend.
What did you do?
Had to watch the game by myself. I texted Mikey. We'll get into it because it's my mistake of the day, I guess, for me thinking we're friends.
Okay, first of all,
Oh my god.
being a friend of mine, you know what my personality is and how ADD I am. And so I explained to you, I actually even read you the text message that I started to type until somebody started talking to me, and then I forgot to respond to you.
Mikey's a starter, not a finisher. On text messages.
I don't know what that means.
That's your herd. Need a closer.
I thought we were talking about the weekend.
I don't know. We are. How was your weekend, Jay?
I had a good one, man. You know,
What'd you
was
do?
just chilling. You know,
And you know what, Darren? I had a good weekend.
It was a good weekend, man. My wife went to her sister's bridal shower in Dallas, so it was just me at the crib chilling all weekend.
Chilling?
Yeah, that was my worst self there, so it's pretty good.
That's great. That was great. Relax.
It was literally relaxed.
Relax. That's.
Did you go to any of the games?
I did not.
That's the funny thing.
I went to Chris McGee's son Camden had a birthday on Friday.
Yep.
So I went to the birthday party, which was cool. A bunch of 8-year-olds running around playing flag football in the park.
Best birthday.
That's great. I love
Eating
those.
pizza,
Are the best birthdays.
Eating pizza, eating
Yeah.
cookie cake, playing tag. Yeah, it was cool. So
Yeah.
I did that on Friday.
The best birth control you can get.
Whoa.
Just seeing a bunch of kids run around.
I don't.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Okay.
As a father myself, I know.
Oh, are you?
I got one cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Cat-
you don't
the most
even
self-
feed probably.
The most self-sustaining animal that you can absolutely have.
Perfect.
Literally do nothing.
I do nothing.
Literally.
Literally do nothing.
Slept all day Sunday.
It's a good weekend. It was chill.
good,
It's real chill.
Whenever my wife leaves town, she thinks that like, oh, what are you gonna do? I'm like, nothing.
You have no idea.
I-
I'm about to do nothing.
Literally,
Oh, I thought I was gonna do so much Saturday night. 9 o'clock, I'm on the couch watching Black Panther. Next thing I know, I'm not wide awake. Next thing I know, I'm awake and it's 12:30, and I've missed the entire second half of Black Panther. And I'm like, well, that was my weekend.
Great. I enjoy those days.
Went to bed.
Don't talk to anybody.
Well, you went back to sleep?
Oh, I was on the couch, so I got up. It's like, well, it's time to go to bed.
Just migrate from the couch to the
Yeah,
bed.
straight to bed. And
That's
the next
it.
thing I know, it was 6:30, and I'm waking up. I'm like, oh, eventful Saturday night.
Because
No.
I'll catch those naps and then I'll wake up at like 12:30 and I'm up for the
Yeah,
next
I'm not a
4
good
hours.
napper.
No, it's a
I can't. I'm not a good
disaster.
napper. I probably nap for like 15, 20. Now, if I'm about to go to sleep and I doze off on the couch, okay, now I'm going back to the bed. But like nap, like I can't nap.
8:30 to 11:30 is that if you
And you
do
don't
that,
talk about you not being a good napper. You've napped through a show in the middle of the afternoon.
That's not a good nap.
No, you can. You are a good napper, which means you sleep hard in your naps. I do not. I sleep for 15 minutes. I wake up and I'm up and I feel like I'm missing something.
It's under the influence.
Oh, okay.
Prescribed.
He, if I had to guess, Lloyd's probably for naps. He's probably back in the bed, every light off, covers on top of him, like as if like
Like he's going to sleep.
Yeah, like he's wondering why. Oh man, I'm
Blackout
I
curtains.
slept for 2.5 hours. I wonder why.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's not a nap.
Exactly what I do.
That's not a nap.
No, you're going
Trying
to
to go to
sleep.
bed, bro.
You're going to bed. That's what that means.
That's not a nap.
That's not a nap. Is you have some lights, you just doze off, and you wake up.
Don't get
and-
under covers, like kind of lay on top, man. You can't do that.
No.
Come on, man.
I'll go full sarcophagus.
Just go Undertaker straight up.
Hopefully that alarm goes off.
Before we really get into the meat and potatoes of the document, like I said, it is Ask Mikie and Mitch Monday. So if you have questions, put your questions in the chat. We have some that have been put into sent to us via Twitter. But if you have questions, put them in the chat. We're gonna try to do that probably in about 18 minutes before Milazzo comes into
The
the
labyrinth.
studio. If we don't get to them all and we have some time after Milazzo gets out, we will finish the questions then. But let's talk a little sports before we get there, right? You had LSU Baseball this weekend. They sweep the weekend. What did you like? What didn't you like about the weekend? I know what I didn't like, but let's go around the room.
I'll tell you what I liked. Here's the biggest part I liked about it. As the famous Raiders owner would say, just win, baby. Just win. That's what they did. And they've been doing that for the last probably, 4 to 5 weeks, just finding ways to win. All right? To me, I've said it before, I'll say it again, that's the mark of a very good ball club, right? Very good ball club. If you need to score 8, they're scoring 8. If they need to beat you in a pitching defensive game, they'll do that and beat you 2-1. They've been doing it. They've been doing it without losing back-to-back games. They've been doing it to the tune of winning every series. Just win. And that's what I like the most about it. What I like the least about it is just probably the worst pitching performance we've seen them have all year, staff-wise. A lot of walks, a lot of balls being thrown. Probably their worst performance. I don't expect that to keep going, but I'm not surprised it came, being there's so much youth in that bullpen right now. Those guys are going to go through their bumps.
Ty Floyd threw well. I felt like he kind of got squeezed a little bit, and then he got frustrated and maybe lost a little bit of his focus, and he was trying to be perfect. And when you try to do that in baseball, it usually doesn't work out the way that you want it to work out. And so, he kind of got frustrated. I think that he pitched better than his numbers showed, and then he just kind of lost a little bit of composure towards the end. That's when he ended up coming out of the game. Javen Coleman threw well. He walked 3 guys, but he went 2 1/3, struck
6
out
punchies.
6.
More than I ever expected him to be throwing this year. I didn't think you would see him throwing as much as he did, and kudos to him for how far along.
And it makes me feel like he's feeling a lot healthier, and maybe
somewhere towards the back end of the year, you may see it happen.
maybe he started getting a rotation.
Yep, may see it happen.
Maybe.
And the biggest testament to it is Jay being like, I can't believe he's back. Every time he talks about it, he's like, there's nobody that should have come back this early from this surgery.
I don't know. There's one other person, but never mind.
I'm superhuman.
Him and Mike Trout on that good stuff, I think.
Yeah, whatever it is.
That grow your lizard tail back real quick.
Shoot me a call.
Stuff.
Let me know how I get that stuff, because that is the good stuff.
I mean, that's when, remember when Mike Trout messes ligament up in his finger, and it's usually about a 3-month recovery, and he came back in 7 weeks.
Yeah. Not even 2.
Not even 2.
I'd like that. I like that good stuff.
We tried to get it.
I tried hard. Didn't qualify for it. Didn't
You
have
have literally none of the symptoms.
none. I was tired.
He got like the pseudo good stuff, the stuff that they, you know what? I'm not going to expose
Yeah,
the
it doesn't matter. But
I mean, Rocco Baldelli's in there somewhere.
what do you mean? Rocco didn't get that. That's what Rocco ended his career because he couldn't recover.
He's yoked, though.
Rocco's not yoked.
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Gabe.
You're talking about
Kapler.
Gabe Kapler.
Gabe Kapler. Yeah, that's who I'm
He ain't
thinking
stopping
of.
the good stuff.
Yeah.
You want to get a lift in?
Yeah.
Coach, it's the 5th.
Coach, he squats like 600 pounds.
Yeah, still.
It's crazy. But Javen Coleman was a bright spot. Thatcher Hurd was a bright spot in the pitching rotation, right? Or the staff, not the rotation. He came in the back end and threw 2 innings, closed out the game. He looked really good, threw strikes, did what he needed to do. I think that's a big addition to the bullpen moving forward, right? Obviously, you would like for him to be a starter, but if you don't trust him going out there and starting every 7th day, whenever his start is, but you can count on him to maybe pitch a couple times a weekend in the back end of the bullpen, maybe that's more beneficial to the team. I believe Ty Floyd is going to be fine in that Saturday role. The Sunday starter, now listen, Christian Little didn't give up a ton of runs, but he threw a ton of pitches in less than 4 innings, and he walked a bunch of guys. He was getting behind in counts. He just had to grind and labor through the outing. He did the best that he could, and then at that point on Sundays, and usually this is how it works, on Sundays you're going to have to hit, score some runs to kind of win those Sunday games, and they've done that. They did that last weekend. Ended up being, 13-11? You like to not have to score 13?
It's crazy. It's crazy how that's still a thing, right? Like, it used to be Sunday was still that, but it used to be you would maybe probably find the guy that's 88 to 92 on Sunday if he's feeling good up to 92, right? Now you're still getting the guy that's 93 to 95, but it's still consistency and control issues, like kind of the same thing at that date right now. It's kind of seeing that around the league too, really. So it's not even just here.
Good to see Paxton Clean back, hit the homer.
Great to see him back.
Great to see him back in the lineup. It seems
Great to see him back.
all of the guys that you were waiting to get back that you felt like could come back are starting to come back. Yeah. Obviously, Brady Neal's still not back. Milazzo had a good weekend behind the plate. Travinsky, another big 3-run homer.
Huge homer.
So he's hit 2 home runs over the last 2 weeks, and both were huge 3-run home runs.
Huge homer.
Right? 3-run homers are big.
3-run homers are very, very welcome.
Tommy White's still hitting a lot.
Still doing Tommy White things.
Dylan Cruz still hitting a lot. He got his average back up to 490. Hit another homer.
He's slacking.
He did.
What did I say? I said by the end of the year, I think he's going to have 20.
That would be a disaster for me.
Well, if he doesn't have 20, it'll be.
He's gonna get to 20 of the year.
If he doesn't have 20, Tommy will have 120 RBIs. Is what's gonna happen because the guy literally every time Dylan's
How
on.
many RBIs does Tommy have?
I don't know. I'm literally looking it up right now because it's crazy.
Because I think that was the most impressive at bat of the weekend.
71.
Jesus.
I think just for reference, if I'm literally just thinking off the top of my head right now, I think the last time LSU won it, I want to say either Blake Dean or Ryan Schimpf led the team with like 72. That won the season. Tommy's got 71, and there's 3 weeks left of regular season.
You have 11. I think you have 11 games left, right? 2 more midweek games and 3 series. So you have 11 regular season games. If he averages 2 RBIs a game, which is basically he's almost done for the whole year.
Yeah.
If he averages 2 RBIs a game for the next 2 games, he's going to go into the postseason with 93 RBIs.
Into the postseason with it.
He's going to get 100 in the year.
I think he's for
sure.
sure.
29 left.
I really do think for sure you're going to see him in probably at least the 85 to 89 range going into the postseason. I mean, going into the SEC.
So
tournament.
he's got 15 homers. He's going to get to 20, you'd imagine. Jones has 14. Does he get to 20? Maybe.
Dylan's got 13.
Dylan's got 13. I imagine he's.
Does he get to 20? Which is crazy that he's having the year he's having, and we're like, maybe he doesn't get to 20. Maybe he doesn't get to that 60 in his career here, which is nuts because the guy he's hitting 500 right now.
Yeah,
so it's crazy.
But Tommy White getting 100 RBIs, that's pretty outrageous. You're gonna have some stupid numbers this year. Now I think, numbers all around the country, around the college baseball are pretty inflated this year. I think that there's an issue with the baseball.
Yeah, hot, coach.
I think the baseballs are a little juiced,
just
like
jumpy.
they are in the big leagues, but that's okay. Everybody likes to see homers and it's just, look, they changed the bats for a reason when they did it. I think now to combat the change of the bats, they've changed the balls to make them a little bit hotter. Now there's got to be a little bit of a medium, but hey, I like the homers.
What's more impressive, and I'll put this on the poll, Dylan Cruz with 49 walks or Tommy Tanks with 71 RBIs?
71 RBIs.
Mm-hmm.
How many walks did you have?
Like 65. So, the walks isn't crazy. For me, when I look at Dylan's walks, it's what he's doing with the strikeout numbers to it. That's what the... That's
it's
crazy.
2-1, I think, walk to strikeout.
Which is crazy. That's not even...
21 strikes.
That's almost not even real. You don't really find it. So, it's not so much just the walks. It's the what he's doing with the strikeout side of it, too, which is...
Well,
find that.
And that's what I found most impressive was that at bat with the bases loaded. If you're a guy like that wants the moment and you still are able to be reserved and bases loaded and you're like, all right, he goes down. I think he went down 0-2, battles back, gets to 3-2, and it's a slider away that you spit on, and he's just like, all right, I'll take my walk and score a run.
Has he had a game where he went 0 for 0 with 4 walks? Has he had that yet?
I don't think he's had that yet. I
imagine that's about to come, but it's hard to do that when you have
the
Tommy
Barry
White
Bonds status.
Yeah.
It's not fun. That's not a fun thing, but I'd imagine he's gonna get that at some point. I mean, there's gonna be
You can't test the man.
There's gonna be a weekend this year. You'd imagine where he has single digit at bats, not plate appearances, but at bats because he's walked so much in the weekend.
I'm gonna tell you.
The hard part is because you have Tommy behind.
That's the
him.
only reason why I don't think it's gonna happen. Just because of that, because
Yeah.
of what he's been able to be so consistent doing. But I do think he's gonna have games where there's 2 to 3 walks where they're not even. You can tell they're not even really trying to pitch to him.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, you got to say, all right, let me give in here because the guy behind him's drove him in every time we've put him on so far.
He has 143 at bats and 49 walks and 10 hit by pitches.
That's a lot.
The 10 hit by pitches is crazy too.
Crazy. What did you see, Lloyd?
I just told you that was my biggest takeaway from the weekend. Not only is it Javin Coleman being able to come in and shove, and it seems like
What'd you call him?
is it Yavin?
Oh my god.
Javen?
Shoving Coleman.
Shoving. I like that.
Shoving Coleman came in, and for him to be able to do it the way he did with 6 punchies, obviously the walks are a concern. I feel like everybody saw that. Was it not only Shoving Coleman, but also Thatcher being able to come in and found a little bit of a swagger back where it seemed like he was comfortable in that closer role. LSU was obviously searching for something at the back end, and not only will I give it a little hat tip to Thatcher, but Riley Cooper coming in the third game, and you get a drop pop-up by Bear, and he's still able to finish off a game in which it felt like a little dicey there at the end. And LSU, obviously, the third game of the series feels like you're just going to have to outscore them.
Yeah.
And for everybody to step up and start hitting just nukes, you had Jordan Thompson go Oppo Taco, Bear Jones, and then it's just kind of the floodgates opened up a little bit. And you talked about it in the text whenever you did text me back. You're like, jet stream to right is real. And Tommy found that on Friday. And it just seems like everything is
that wasn't the whole weekend. Wasn't the jet stream? It was that Friday
Friday
when it was
night.
when it's chilly and you had that little like north wind. It comes across. I mean, you saw their Pickney did it for them.
Yeah, with 5 for 5 against Skeens.
Yeah, and he hit the homer right center. Like you get that ball up in the jet stream, it can go. But listen, they've won 7 straight. They are half game behind Vandy for the outright conference lead, right? To win the SEC outright. Their schedule, I don't think we have the link. We don't have the graphic. I saw it on Twitter, I believe, right before the show. Their schedule, LSU's got Auburn, Mississippi State, and Georgia to finish out the year, right? Vandy's got, I believe it's Florida. I'm gonna have to pull it up, but they have a significantly tougher schedule than LSU does to end the season. I'm not saying LSU is going to go out and sweep the next 3 series. If LSU goes out and sweeps the next 3 series, then
they win.
I mean, it's pretty outrageous. I mean,
they would win. Yeah,
that means that they would.
You're not.
That means that they would win the last 16 games of the SEC. That's
highly doubt.
Very unrealistic.
2 teams. You'll have them going 9-0 and another team going 8-1. Like it's just
they're not going to sweep. I mean, I would like for them to, but they're not going to sweep all 9 games. If they do, great. I mean, that means they're 24-5 in conference. Like that's pretty outrageous. I don't know. I don't see that happening. You can't expect that to happen. But they have 3 winnable series. Auburn is actually playing pretty decent baseball right now. They're 35-15, I think. They are, and their conference record is what it is, but they're 35-15. The SEC is pretty tough. Auburn, didn't they go down? I think they beat South Carolina last weekend. They took 2 out of 3 from South Carolina. Auburn is 9-12 in conference, so it's not awful. Look, Alabama, Auburn, and A&M are all fighting for their postseason lives right now, right? Like LSU is going to be a national seed. That's going to be a thing. Alabama, Auburn, and Texas A&M, they all want to be in the postseason. They have 9 games left in the SEC. If they go 6-3 in those 9 games, they are easily into the postseason. 15-15 is kind of like the benchmark is what it used to be. 14-16 in the SEC right now, I think, gets you in.
What's 15-5 get you?
That's pretty good. Pretty good. So my point in saying all this is Auburn is going to be playing pretty desperate baseball. They get to play at home, right? So they're going to try to do anything they can to win the games. They have to win, right? They have to win these games. They can't lose a bunch of series moving forward. They want to make the postseason. So it's going to be a tough weekend this weekend in Auburn.
3 weekends left.
3 weekends left. The last Mississippi State, or no, it's Georgia this week.
2 of them on the road.
2 of them on the road. So you go Auburn on the road, Mississippi State at home, and Georgia on the road.
Yeah.
They finish in Athens. It's great.
On a
That's
Saturday.
dangerous.
I love a good Athens trip.
Athens is a good time.
Except for when the whole team goes out before doubleheader and
I may or may not have
lose.
attended a class in Athens before.
not as an enrolled student.
Ooh, definitely not as an enrolled student.
Continue.
I almost did that in South Carolina, actually. I almost
Good
walked
Friday.
in campus.
It was a good Friday.
You just walked around. I'm going to school.
Yeah, it was
By yourself?
cool.
No,
Nah,
a couple
I forgot.
guys.
No, yeah, it was a couple of us.
Couple guys.
We popped in one of the big classes.
I almost did that in
A
South
couple
Carolina.
guys, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Campus
I almost
was
did that.
dope.
I almost did that in South Carolina. Just see how they teach there.
Yeah,
You know?
I just wanted to see, what.
Further educating myself.
There you go. I didn't even know what class it was, but I was like,
Surprised
you know
you
what?
didn't do that with Alabama.
Why are you all hung up on that? I didn't go there or commit there or sign there or do anything there. I went on a visit.
Flirted.
I flirted.
You're allowed
Was that
to,
a spite move?
you're allowed to
No.
flirt in the recruiting game.
I flirted.
Can you imagine the flirting
You
that's going
didn't
on?
flirt at all.
That's a lie.
He flirted with the major leagues.
I went to South Carolina too.
He did.
Class.
No,
No.
for real.
He visited. That's when South Carolina was fucking killing it in
they had
baseball.
Steve Spurrier there, huh?
Yeah.
The true story, I'll just give you this. This is completely honest of me. I grew up, my parents both went to Southern University. So I grew up really going to watch like Southern games and stuff. Like my favorite football player ever growing up was Steve McNair. I saw him play at Alcorn State at Southern, and I was like, who is this unbelievable? This was like Michael Vick before Michael Vick. Obviously, he wasn't that fast, but that's what I saw, right? So, like, that was, like, my thing. So I didn't really come to a ton of LSU games. So it just kind of came down between LSU and South Carolina. And what literally pushed me to LSU was Steve Spurrier comes to my parents' house. We sit down. We start talking about what's going to go on. Every time we even spoke of baseball, this man flipped the conversation right back to football. I'm talking every single time. So it was a great visit, hug it out. They leave. We close the door. I'm like, ain't no shot this man's letting me play both sports there. I ain't going. That's what the decision came down to for me to come here. So I kind of wanted to go to South Carolina, honestly.
It's also coming from the man that didn't know he was a top 100 recruit in the country. He found that out literally on the show. He's like, oh, I was top 100? Like, yeah, Jared, you're pretty.
That stuff wasn't as prevalent as you think back then. And I was, because of baseball, like I wasn't really like around in like summer stuff to like pay attention to.
How good I was?
No, bro. That has nothing to do with it. Like, what? No. I just didn't pay attention to that stuff, man. It was just...
There's no reason to.
Just a kid from New Iberia playing sports, man.
No
Just
doubt.
having a good time, dude.
You and Kayshawn.
That's all, man. Just having a good time. Hey, congrats to him, by the way.
Congrats.
Congrats to him. Congrats to all those guys that got drafted this weekend.
No doubt.
And the guys that signed on the UDFAs.
I didn't hear my name called again. Unfortunate.
They must have lost your enroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
You got to
right.
put another year on film for him, man.
Mm-hmm.
And one more for you. You'll get there.
I'll get there.
You'll get there.
Keep putting the tape together, one by one.
That's it. There you go. Build the blocks. 1% better every day.
LSU plays Southeastern tomorrow. Southeastern is not as good as they have been in the past.
Yeah.
Ruthless.
Look, the last two midweek games, LSU's lost, and they go ahead and sweep the weekend. If they're going to keep sweeping SEC weekends, go ahead and lose the midweek game. I don't care. I don't think they're going to lose this one. They're on the road at Southeastern. Lloyd said he's gotten his feelings hurt before with the fans there in Southeastern. He said they're
I
brutal.
didn't get my feelings hurt, but they came at me and they didn't know who they were talking to.
So
Why did they come at you?
Because I was a GA, and they thought like, oh, what? You're not good enough to make it on the team at Northwestern? Like, bro, we're 0-8. Like, I think anybody in this
So you just went to chirping back at
stadium
him.
could play for Northwestern right now. Like, I don't think it really matters. They ain't winning shit. So, yeah, I could line up at wide receiver if you need me to. What's the difference? We're all losing every game.
Oh, God.
But they had the daiquiri machine going back there.
There you
So
go.
I'm just saying, Hammond turns up for whatever it's
Get you a little taste. And Hammond does go
Well, of
ham.
course.
When you go there, they get into it. It's
It's
big.
LSU's walking
Did we play there at 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Like packed too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're walking into a. I don't wanna
Hey,
say
lining up
trap.
is real, baby.
They're going to be fired up.
Yeah, 100%. They are.
Probably
It's a
feel
good.
their-
If for an LSU Southeastern game, it's a good environment. I don't know what they do for every other game, but for that game, it's
If they got fired up for Northwestern State, I'd imagine they're fired up for LSU baseball.
duh.
Duh.
That's not even duh.
Probably throw their Friday night guy. See how that worked out for UL.
No, I don't think so.
How'd they do this weekend? Like, how have they been since that whole thing?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know what.
I know the weekend right after wasn't good for them. That's why I was
They got
wondering.
swept by Liberty. Mm-hmm. Liberty.
They're the conference UL is in, sneaky good conference in
Yeah,
baseball.
it is sneaky. It is.
You know, you have Coastal, who's actually going to be not a national seed, top.
Sanford's in
16
that
seed.
conference. Sanford's in that conference now?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's a pretty good baseball conference.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, sneaky. All right, let's get to that Ask Mikie Mitch. Ask Mikie Mitch is brought to you by our friends down at what?
I'll make it right.
Well, I said 6:30, 6:33. Gave you 3 extra minutes.
I'm up.
Ask Mikie Mitch. Ask Mikie Mitch is brought to you by our friends at FCO Construction,
FCO Development.
FCO Development. What does FCO Development have? Your solutions to all your civil
All your
engineering
chat
needs. All your civil engineering needs. FCO Development is a civil construction company that specializes in new multifamily construction. They specialize in site drainage, site utilities, earthwork, site clearing, house pads, ponds, demo work, and hurricane cleanup. They're based out of Lafayette. They do work all over the state. They do really good work. I'm actually meeting with these guys next Monday to talk to them about maybe some projects that I have going on the other end of it. If you're interested and you're looking for that type of work, call Evco at 337-534-4675. Again, the number is 337-534-4675. They are great people. Give them a chance.
Cage just got swept by James Madison.
Who?
The ULL got swept.
So
they went opposite direction. LSU went opposite direction. They lost and swept. And that,
glad they got that midweek win though.
Yep. Good for the RPI.
means a lot.
Good
Recruiting.
for the RPI.
Recruiting.
Yeah.
Thank you, smart fan.
Make sure you have a fence around the state. You know.
Yeah, there you go. Really keep them.
All right. You got any questions?
I'm getting fussed at because the audio and video don't sync up. I've asked for what.
I thought we fixed that.
It's close enough, but I mean it's $400 if anybody wants to send it in to get it perfectly right.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
More sponsors. Sponsor us more and we'll do it.
FCO Solutions.
Development.com.
All right, Ask Mikie and Mitch. We are officially a go. So, first one up. Bill T. Baggins. Send it in. Bang, bang. Skeet, skeet. Ask Mikie and Mitch. How
That's
much
Mickey, huh?
What a name.
I love that.
How much does Taft need to raise to make the necessary improvements at Alex Box, move bullpens, outfield berm, seating, remove bleachers, and replace with chairbacks?
Okay, so I don't have the budget on hand.
They don't give us that
but
information.
I will
really.
say this. I think that LSU Baseball has a plan in place that they're not going to need as much money from TAF.
I'll
I
say
think
this
that they
too.
have the ability. They're raising money on their own, some funds or whatever they're trying to do to be able to help alleviate the cost of that TAF is going to have to put in there.
I would imagine also that winning does not hurt the
You
cause.
go ahead and you win that championship this year.
You do a lot. The more winning you do, the more generous people are in this situation. So
Hey, look, I talked about this the other day. I was actually sitting in the game.
Oh,
Yep. Right before you texted me, and I didn't respond to you.
either way.
I was sitting in the game, and the guys next to us, the husband and wife next to us, started talking to me about just baseball and all these types of things, and we started talking about the stadium. And I was like, I would love for them to add a berm on one of the sides. He's like, well, you should add it on both sides. I'm like, well, that's asking a lot. Let's take some of the bleachers, add the berm, but then expand the hitter's eye a little wider. You don't have to necessarily go higher. I would like to see it go higher.
it needs to go higher.
But I know why they don't do it higher because you still want to see Tiger Stadium in the backdrop. But let's go a little wider so that you can put a walkway from behind the berm to behind the hitter's eye to go across the other side to go to a little beer garden on the other side to have more fan friendly. I think that would be an addition. Take the bullpens off of the field, put them underneath the stadium so you can run through like it's a professional field. Take the bleachers out, make it a little more fan friendly, and then allow the students to be students.
They truthfully, I'm not even saying being cheap, but they could literally keep the bullpens exactly where they are and fence them off because there's so much foul territory. It doesn't necessarily need to be moved. It'd be better, obviously, but literally, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It can't be a part of the field of play.
Right.
That's just so we can't. That's just it's not good.
Wrigley Field, baby.
It's not good.
Can't do it.
I don't like it. It's never been good.
All right.
All right, next one up. Our guy, Jeff Cavan Jr., Ask
he is.
him who won the Booze Cruise challenge, the Booze Cruise movement, and I responded to him already in kind. It was my buddy, old Derek Rainwater, called me up for a Friday night. I didn't have anybody to sit with, so I was just kind of lurking around by myself, Glansburging it. And
You're trying to make me feel bad.
And he saw, sent me a text like, "Are you here? Booze Cruise just happened. Buys me a beer, buys me a shot." So we did it together. So shout out Derek Rainwater. He will
That's
get a
who
care.
wins it.
He will get a care package.
There we go. Thank you, Jeff.
But Jeff,
listen.
don't
Nobody,
stop. Yes,
nobody is as
committed.
committed to it as you. I
Leader in
appreciate
the
it.
clubhouse, without
Definitely.
a doubt.
Glue guy.
Definitely a glue guy. We appreciate it too.
We do.
That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Oh, dude, don't stop the content. You'll
No.
win it. You'll win again.
Yeah.
Next one up.
Shots on net.
Pucks on that. Speaking of pucks on that, the hockey playoffs have been.
We actually okay. You want to do that one?
No, not yet.
I we have it.
We'll get to it. We'll get
You
to
already
it.
have this one up.
I know. I could have switched them. Ask Mikie and Mitch. I mean this in the most serious way possible. Apple juice, orange juice.
To be honest
Orange
with you,
juice, baby.
here's my thing though. If I'm drinking it just straight up,
Apple juice.
Apple juice. If I'm mixing it with a little bit of an alcohol beverage, orange juice. We're friends again.
OJ. All day.
Pulp or no pulp?
No pulp.
Yeah, okay.
If the pulp,
Maybe
If
light
you said,
pulp.
if you said pulp, like, okay.
You're a serial killer.
Yeah,
Maybe
no
light
pulp.
pulp. I can deal with the heavy pulp. No, it's
No
too
pulp.
much.
if the pulp don't fit, you must quit.
And next question. Jesus.
All right, and this is from Hunter
That was
Fournette.
a Stretch Armstrong.
That was
reach, right?
stretch Armstrong.
That was great. This is from Milazzo. Whenever he gets in studio, I got Hunter Fournette, who apparently has a relationship with Milazzo. He said, ask Milazzo about him hitting 97 in high school from the bump.
Wow.
I'm curious if he was bullshitting me or not.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well,
What, over under?
I mean, if
He's got a
he's
hose.
97's hard,
Firm.
especially when you're not training to throw 97 off the ball.
Especially with the old school guns.
Yeah.
Firm.
But he's not that old, so.
No, I'm saying like not literally having TrackMan.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I don't know.
It don't have to be
I
old.
can't imagine their high school had TrackMan. Yeah, you're right.
That's my point.
Good point.
Yeah.
Put him in the pitching lab. If you haven't seen LSU Gold yet, y'all need to check out the Powerhouse.
I need to see it. I'll watch it.
It's awesome. All right, another one in from Bilbo T. Baggins. Why isn't LSU selling corn dogs at 80 sporting venues? I'd buy that shit up in a heartbeat. I never got the corn dog thing.
I never got it either. I don't smell I don't understand.
I think we're too close to it.
I don't think so. I just don't think this.
I just don't think it's a thing. I think that
Yeah, yeah.
they ran with it because they needed to. Make
I think
fun
they
of
ran
it.
into the one fan that might have smelled like a corn dog, and what that thing really took off from there.
That was Katy Perry's fault, right?
No, it happened way before
No, it was
Katy
before,
Perry. She
yeah.
just
Elevated the
Yeah.
situation.
yeah. I wonder
And-
whatever happened to Trevor Knight after that.
Abs-
I really want to know if they actually went on a date and hung out. Mystery that maybe
I have some
I'll
thoughts.
ask him.
I'm not going to say them.
I'll reach out to him. See, I don't know him, but
Well, yeah, I mean, if you need insurance, I'm sure he can give you some.
he does insurance too.
I'd imagine.
We're competitors.
Yeah. From Fonzarelli. What's up, fuckers?
Hello. What's up?
Hey, how
Well,
y'all
hello
doing?
there, Fonz.
Hello, Fonzie.
All right, next one up. Oh, Bilbo's steady in the chat. Said this is a softball question. Ask Mikie and Mitch. It's Coach Serino on the hot seat, knowing that OU is going to come down and dominate in the conference whenever they move into the SEC.
I don't think you can put somebody on the hot seat before, just because you're anticipating a premier team to come into conference. Like, you have to give them an opportunity to compete against that premier team. I think Coach Serino's done a really good job there.
Longest
Obviously,
tenured coach on
Huh?
staff. Longest tenured coach here.
Yep. Obviously when she got hired here, she had some early success. I mean, everybody knows that the Alabama head coach had accepted the job at LSU, and then a day later decided not to come to LSU and went back to Alabama. And then, Beth Trina got the job, and I think she's done a really good job. I wouldn't say she's on the hot seat just because OU's coming in. I don't think that puts her on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I wouldn't really say she's on the hot seat. My only thing is if there's any hot seat, the chef does like to cook with his own recipe, right? So with that being said, she wasn't a Scott Woodward hire. So if there's any hot seat, it would be, when does he feel like it's time to make a move?
Right.
That's my only guess.
All right, an actual baseball question. Jason Weirwick. Sending it in. Ask him. How many more SEC games did we win? All 9?
I'd love to see us win on 9. I do not think we're going to win on 9. Just to be safe, I'm going to say we're going to go 6-3.
I'll go
That'd put us
7-2.
at 21-8.
I'll say 7-2.
Okay. Another sweep. You get one more sweep in there.
Yeah.
Would you sacrifice losing every midweek game to sweep every SEC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
There's only 2 more.
100%.
So, I think there's only 2 more.
Fonsfero with the controversial question. Is West J to be kind of blamed for the pitching staff being rough or injuries?
How good?
Wait. Let me understand the question. Is he to be blamed because the pitching staff is struggling, or is he to be blamed because of the injuries?
Injuries.
Okay.
Okay.
Or is it his pitching style of a coach, or is it just everybody getting hurt? That's what it feels like.
I mean, I feel like we had a lot of injuries last year in the pitching staff too. So, do we throw that blame on Kelly when he left? Right? It is what it is. It happened. It's unfortunate. I would say this too, though, about the struggling part. If you took out, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 of the top hitters in LSU's lineup, I think they probably struggle too. So that's
Took out 3 really good pitchers from
you
LSU's
forget.
rotation.
Let's say we missed the year. Didn't even have Grant Taylor to start the year.
It was, well, everybody would argue that.
Everybody's
Not even
arguing
argue.
that he was
Probably the second best on the
probably
team.
the
First
second
rounder.
best on the team. First rounder, right? He hasn't thrown an inning this year. Chase Shores is hurt.
Who throws 100?
Garrett Edwards is hurt. You just got Coleman back, but he hasn't been throwing all year. I think that probably has a lot to do with it as well.
And look,
Just
you
throwing it out
can't
there.
just because there are a lot of guys are getting injured, you can't blame it on the coach, right? On the pitching coach, because just look around the whole landscape of baseball, college baseball, Major League Baseball. There's a lot of injuries happening to pitchers.
Yeah.
And that's because of the high velocities. That's because of the way they're training. That's because of the spin rates. That's because of the stress that they're putting on their arms, right? Now, a lot of these injuries are now elbow injuries. Not necessarily you're not getting as many like shoulders, which is good, right? Because you can recover from elbow injuries. But to blame it on a guy because they're just having some injuries happen, I wouldn't go that far. I think that baseball in general is going through a bunch of injuries, and on the pitching side, and so I think that's just the way baseball is right now.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his philosophies were instilled in, especially at the big league level, in the Twins organization, and I don't think they had a ton of injuries.
Right.
So for me, it's really hard to put the blame on him.
Yep. I thought you had a hockey question for us.
I do. I didn't know if you wanted that one or another
Why
baseball.
not?
Let's
We
a
can do
little
everything.
hockey.
We have time.
We got time. Ask Mikey and Mitch. Catch that wild Bruins-Panthers game last night. Bruins obviously won the President's Cup as the team with
Yeah,
the
the
most
best,
wins in the
the
regular
best
season.
wins, the best regular season team in the history of NHL, and they get knocked out in the first round, overtime, right?
Yep.
OT 7, game 7. I mean,
Lucky save off the stick.
unbelievable. I've talked about this. Hockey is. I don't really know everything about hockey. I don't really know many players, but I enjoy watching it. I enjoy the playoff hockey, especially game 7s. It's just like it's great. A good friend of mine, who is a very he's a doctor. He's an orthopedic surgeon, and he works on
Lower body and upper body injuries.
athletes, and he has said by far, and I think this is pretty obvious, but he goes by far the toughest athletes that he has ever been around, and the easiest athletes to deal with are hockey players
In team sports.
and team sports.
Right. Let's say we're not going. You get to the real combat sports.
In team sports.
team sports.
In team sports.
I
In
would
team
agree.
sports. Yeah. Because
but
UFC doesn't count. UFC is a whole nother.
UFC and boxing that don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
they look good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap. Oh, go ahead.
I did not catch. I heard that game was jumping though.
Jumping.
Milazzo's here. I
I
gotta
didn't
go
see
grab
any
him.
of it.
Okay.
And I'll
You want to put up another question while you
Yeah,
go
that's
grab
what I was
them?
about to do.
There you go.
Fonz Ferrelli with an actual question. Does our bullpen worry you going into tourney play? I guess SEC tournament play.
I understood. I got that. You want to start?
Does our bullpen worry me? Yeah, sure. I mean, if I had to pick a spot that said that I would say worries me, yeah. But at this point, when you're reaching May, find me a team that doesn't have something that worries you. Whether it's
Right.
the back half of the lineup, whether it's our big guys really haven't been hitting well, whether it's we don't have all 3 starters, whether it's our Friday night guy isn't a dominant guy. Everybody's got something at this point, right? You've played through almost a whole schedule. Everybody's got something. So if you ask me if there was something, that would probably be the spot that I would be worried at. But guess what? The other team's got thinner bullpens too. And with the lineup that they have, good luck trying to beat them when it comes to just scoring runs.
And I want to say this too. It's like whenever you talk about, does it worry me? Of course. Like they're not throwing as many strikes as you want them to. They're kind of getting behind some guys. They've had some injuries. Obviously, that is an issue. But you get through the regular season and you win and you finish off the regular season. You get to postseason play. It's almost like you can finally exhale and you can almost reset.
Yeah.
And you start seeing a lot of these things because these guys it's not about talent.
Yeah.
It's just about, okay, are these guys going to just do it consistently, right? And so you kind of get into the grind of the season. You kind of get into the monotony of the season. You say, well, you get in your head a little bit, and then the season ends, and you get to the postseason, and you're like,
Because
All
those
right.
stats, at the end of the day,
They don't matter.
They don't go in the back of your card
Right.
anymore.
Right.
And so now you kind of really get to play for that quote unquote the name on the front of your jersey.
Literally, in the postseason, the only thing that matters is to win and move on. Win and move on. Win and move on. And sometimes when you get to that situation, it takes the pressure off of trying to perform and being perfect and have the best numbers.
Well, it takes the pressure off of, man, if I do X amount or if I do this or that, I could get back to 300. I could get back to 320. And you kind of get that that stuff washed out of it.
You know who's a good person to ask about the bullpen and about the staff?
Maybe Alex Milazzo.
Maybe Alex Milazzo. I mean, Alex Milazzo is in studio, so we're going to take a minute break, get him situated, get him put into his chair, into the hot seat, talk to him, and ask him the questions that y'all are asking us so that we can get a more educated answer of a guy who catches them every day. You're watching Mik'd Up. We'll be back to you. Actually, you're watching Mik'd Up. Ask Mikie Mitch is brought to you by our friends at FCO Development.
And we might run a couple of these back because we still have about 5 or 6 in the coffer. So.
Yep. Perfect.
We'll
All right. We'll be right back. Friends at FCO Development.
Okay.
There we go. Let's give them a shout. Right? I didn't get the retweet. FCO Development's a civil construction. You go ahead and read it, Lloyd.
About putting together the Ask
Okay.
Mikie Mitch.
FCO Development is a civil construction company that specializes in new multi-family construction. They specialize in site drainage, site utilities, earthworks, site clearing, house pads, ponds, demo work, hurricane cleanup. So basically anything that is moving dirt, getting a site ready to be built on vertically, has nothing to do with mathematics. Like Lloyd tried to say on Monday, he said he wasn't very sure. He didn't know what was happening with. He's not good at math, but
I'm not good at math.
Yeah, but math doesn't. You don't need math. I'm sure maybe there's some sort of thing, but
If Tyler works there,
you're not doing any equations or anything like that.
Quadratic formula.
Yeah, you're not doing the Pythagorean theorem or
Oh,
anything
nice.
like that. And if you're interested, right, these guys are based out of Lafayette. They do a lot of work. They are very experienced in the industry. They've been doing it for their entire lives. And if you're interested and need any help or you want somebody to do a project for you, call Tyler Leday at 318-229-5585. Again, the number is 318-229-5585. They are based out of Lafayette, but they will travel. They will come to you, and they're very good people. They're upstanding people, and they do a very good job. So our friends at FCO Development, Ask Mikie Mitch is brought to you by our friends at FCO Development. Well, you have the sticker on your head.
Well, that's because we're brought to you by FCO.
There you go.
Every
Who's
single-
FCO?
FCO.
Development. There we go.
FCO
Keep
Development.
going. FCO Development is a civil construction company based out of Lafayette, Louisiana. They specialize in
Math went bye-bye to me long ago, so
Huh?
I never had a chance to work there. Like
You what?
math, engineering and all of that such. So, the smarter people.
Civil engineering. Let me explain to you how this works. The civil engineering is more about the earthwork and the ground, and you prep the land before you build vertically. And I don't know how much mathematics that they are actually doing
Maybe Jay can tell us.
in that spot. So I don't think the math excuse to you is a thing. But FCO Development, our friends, that's why you have the sticker on your forehead. I'm sure your friend, Tyler Leday, appreciates that. I have Tyler's number. I will announce that number later on whenever we give them another. But before we go into our break, I want to give a shout out to, like I said, we talk about us getting new partners, new sponsorships all the time. We have a new sponsor, and you've probably seen them on the top left corner in the little spinner logo. FCO Solutions. Our friends on at FCO, they're out of Lafayette. They're a civil construction company. They specialize in new multi-family construction. Right? If you don't know what civil construction is, it's okay. Probably a lot of people don't understand it. They basically get the land ready to be built vertically. Right? I'm giving you a little bit of a construction lesson here. I don't know much about it. I've learned it. I've learned it on the go. Right? They specialize in site drainage, site utilities, earthworks, site cleaning, house pads, ponds, demo work, and hurricane cleanup. So they do anything that involves dirt, basically, or the earth. And a lot of that gets done before, it has to be done before you are building whatever development you are trying to build. So our friends at FCO have been fans of the show. They are really, really good people. They are down there in Lafayette. If you know anybody from Lafayette, you do know me. J Mitch is from New Iberia. I'll consider that Lafayette's 337 area code.
There you go.
337 area code. They are unbelievable people. They do a very, very, very good job, and they are committed to growing and being the best at what they do. So I just want to give a shout out to our friends at FCO. I know that they listen. Appreciate you guys. We are going to be great partnerships.
Headlines.
Heineken Heather. Maybe you're gonna have. Are you gonna have a Heineken Silver for the game? Maybe.
I kind of want one
You
now.
gonna shotgun another one?
You want another? I don't know if you should shotgun because we saw how that went last time. You
I don't know.
won.
I
know.
feel like you got to redeem yourself.
I think
know.
so. If you can have a drink, I don't think you should shotgun it.
The way
Okay,
it went,
I'll
I think
enjoy
you should,
this
I think
one.
you should chug it, but maybe not shotgun it.
the
Can
way
you
it
do
went
that?
last time, it's
Yeah, I could do. I mean, I
Can't
can
sip
do
it.
anything. I know. All right, fuck it.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go for it. There.
Oh, that was much
There you
better.
go.
1, 2,
Open
Three,
it up a little bit. You know what I
4,
mean?
5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay.
9,
Okay. It's
10,
now it's starting to drip. Now
11,
you're struggling a little bit.
12,
It's pretty good.
13.
13
It's not bad.
seconds. I'll give
Not
you
bad.
12 and a half seconds there. How was it? Was it good?
Delicious. You
It was
can't
very
do that
delicious. With a regular one.
with a regular one.
Right.
You can only do that with the silver.
With the silver, why? Because the silver's lighter. It's got
Lighter.
95 calories. It's pretty crisp.
I
No,
res-
that's not even. That wasn't even cold. I know you don't necessarily need a cold beer. That was room temp.
That's
But-
the
I respect
fraternity
how
days
quickly
to
you
be-
turned around and gave me a full sentence. That was quick. I
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
No
officer,
doubt.
I'm
I
fine.
Respect that.
You've been, look, you've been
Walk the
around
straight
before.
line, kid.
Yeah,
You've been around before, but
it's just breakfast.
It's a very good beer.
It
It's a
is.
very light beer. It's something that you could
Easy to drink,
easy to drink,
easy to pour.
Yeah. But it's something that I think it should be in the rotation at tailgates, especially with LSU baseball coming up. We'll get into some of the LSU baseball conversation. Dozy Place is located on 3723 Government Street. Everybody knows about their Wall of Fame steaks and their hot tamales, but what you may not know is that they're open for lunch every day from 11 to 2. Great people, great environment. Their lunch menu is fire. What's the best thing on the menu?
If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try the burger. Unbelievable. Best burger in town.
Best burger in town. If you're looking for lunch, 11 to 2 at Dozy Place. Again, they're located on 3723 Government Street. Give them a shot. Actually, you know what? Let's go. Ask Mikie Mitch right now is brought to you by our friends at FCO Development.
Okay.
There we go. Let's give them a shout out, right? I didn't give the read to it. FCO Development's a civil construct. You go ahead and read it, Lloyd.
I'm putting together the Ask
Okay.
Mikie Mitch.
FCO Development is a civil construction company that specializes in new multifamily construction. They specialize in site drainage, site utilities, earthworks, site clearing, house pads, ponds, demo work, hurricane cleanup. So basically anything that is moving dirt, getting a site ready to be built on vertically, has nothing to do with mathematics. Like Lloyd tried to say on Monday, he said he wasn't very sure. He didn't know what was happening with, he's not good at math. But
I'm not good at math.
yeah, but math doesn't. You don't need math. I'm sure maybe there's some sort of thing, but I don't
Well,
think
if
that
Tyler
you-
works there,
you're not doing any equations or anything like that.
Quadratic formula.
Yeah, you're not doing the Pythagorean theorem or
Oh,
anything like
nice.
that. You like that? And if you're interested, right? These guys are based out of Lafayette. They do a lot of work. They are very experienced in the industry. They've been doing it for their entire lives. And if you're interested and need any help, or you want somebody to do a project for you, call Tyler Leday at 318-229-5585. Again, the number is 318-229-5585. They are based out of Lafayette, but they will travel. They will come to you, and they're very. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. I guess we don't even need to have the conversation. We already had the conversation. We didn't record it, so y'all missed out. Alex Milazzo is in studio. We're going to have this conversation all over again on air. He was actually just talking about Lloyd.
Left, yeah.
Yeah, he's just gone. He was actually talking about Lloyd. Lloyd was texting him, telling him where to go, and Lloyd started using these words that he likes to use that nobody else knows but him. And so he gave him a little bit of a vocabulary quiz coming in, so I appreciate you coming in the show. Welcome to the
Elaborate?
show. It's the first time on the show, right?
Yeah,
got
this is
it.
the first time. I've always watched it.
Appreciate it.
I was fired up to get
Yeah,
that
I'm
invite,
fired
man.
up to have you. We had a big conversation off air just to kind of get to know. I mean, I know you a little bit. You caught us a little bit during COVID. So, a little backstory: during COVID, everything was shut down. Obviously, couldn't go anywhere to practice. We were back in from spring training, so we had to figure out how to get some work in. We had in my neighborhood, we had Kevin Gosman, Will Harris, and a couple other guys would need to throw bullpens, but we didn't have anybody that could catch them. We tried throwing it to a high school kid one time, and that did not go over very well. The ball was by the guy before. It was not good. We thought he was going to get hurt. So I asked Milazzo
Another
if he
time
could
I
come
don't get a
in.
phone
He
call.
was like, yeah, no problem. Gosman and Will took care of him. He comes in, he's catching bullpens out in the backyard. I asked him if it was tough. He was like, no, these guys are easy, bro. Just right, put the glove up and you just catch it.
Yeah, it's money, man.
It was money. You kind of get that same feel with Paul Skeens.
Yeah, so like me and my dad had this talk literally the other day. Like catching those guys as a freshman and then catching Paul Skeens. And I've caught a lot of great guys since I've been here. That is the most big league arm I've ever caught since being in college or catching anybody, man.
Right. Skeens you're talking about.
Skeens.
Yeah.
From a mental standpoint to the pure physical makeup, his ability, and like I think LSU fans might take it for granted why he's here and what they're getting out of him every Friday night, man. It's just unreal.
You talked about how there's a lot of preparation that goes into the game, not only in the player side of practicing and like the physical work, but like the mental side of it, right? You have Wes does his deal, obviously, with the pitching staff. Jay does his deal with the entire team, trying to mix and match, use the matchups, figure out who's best in what situations. But as a catcher, you do a lot of the same stuff, right? You talked about how you have a book and you have notes on every pitcher that you have to catch or interact with. And, go into the detail on like your preparation as you prepare to catch the guys that you're about to catch.
Yeah, I mean, just going off like the mental preparation deal, it starts in the fall with this team and under Jay. Like we got multiple mental coaches coming in, building team chemistry, and also working on your own stuff, mental game. And I think that's one of the biggest things that transformed my offensive, I guess you could say, numbers or whatever you want to say, just approach, everything, was kind of hammering down a mental routine. Y'all both played at Alex Box when there's 13,000 people there. You're facing a guy on Friday night throwing 97, like that heart's jumping. And it starts before I even step onto the on-deck circle, man. I'm taking deep breaths, like slowing my heart rate down. And it's different for guys. Like some guys got to get going. Yep. For me, it's slowing down in that box. And like you can watch me and you can follow like from on-deck circle. It's once I get on deck, it's slow breaths in between each pitches, going through my one-handed drills, my feels, and then knowing myself. Like that's something we talk about, like knowing who you are and what you have to do to get ready. So if you watch me walking from the on-deck circle, it's super slow walk, and it's like I got my chest poked out, like I'm confident.
Holding the barrel of the bat. Yeah,
holding the barrel of the bat. I dig in the dirt. I look at the pitcher. Then I'm looking at the foul pole, focal point. As soon as I step back in, it's close my eyes, deep breath, and let's go.
I love that.
Is the book that you keep on the pitchers, is that something new for you, or is that something that you've always done? And how easy is it for, I guess, the pitchers to be able to buy into understanding that exactly when they're right and exactly when they're wrong and what they're doing when they're on either side of, and for them to get back on track when you speak to them about those things?
Yeah, so, man, I've always taken pride in catching, like the defensive side of the game. Like obviously growing up,
it shows in your game, dude.
Yeah, obviously growing up, everybody wants to hit, and I did all the way growing up, hit. And you'd go in the cages, hit for 4 hours at night in high school. But what I was also doing is putting in the time defensively. So in something, when I came in as a freshman, y'all know Coach Maneri, he takes pride on the defensive side of things, and he was hard on me from day one, man. Like dude, we'd be standing. My first bullpen I ever caught was Marceau, and
that's a good one to catch, though.
It was good, but it's filthy.
He's got stuff going all over the place, too, man.
I get to bullpen, nobody's in the stands. It's like it's hot as crap in like November, whatever, man.
Just happy to be here.
Maneri plops a chair down right next to me in the bullpen, and I'm just he's going to town on me.
Yeah, he's wearing you.
He's working me.
First off, you're wondering about, hey,
are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're supposed to be this great high school catcher coming into this program, and this is what I'm getting. And so, dude, like
you got the same thing coming.
Yeah, it was like the first day, and then the next day I catch Cole Henry on the field, and like nobody was standing in, but they're throwing on the real game mound. He was right there on the little cut out of the home plate circle, dude, just hammering me, trying to get me to mess up. And sure enough, like first pitch Cole's throw is like above my head and it clinks off my glove. I was like, oh, it's happening right now. But at the end of the day, like he did that, and I appreciate what he did for me, man. Like when you got in front of 26,000 people against Texas in Minute Maid, it was nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like I've gone through worse. I handled Coach Maneri when he was up my butt, you know. But like he also he never let me take one pitch off. Right. It was from fall games to in games. He never let me take one pitch off, and Coach Johnson's been the same way.
That, yeah.
So it's like taking pride in those things, and so that's where it kind of started. And one of my biggest things when I was going through a slump my sophomore year, COVID freshman year, like I've never hit that bad in my life. Right. Like it's a forsaken topic in my household to even talk about that year.
Don't bring that year up.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. Like my mom played college softball and stuff, and she's the one who made me a catcher. Like, and she used to BP to me and crap. And dude, she's one of my toughest critics. She's probably biggest competitor in my household, and we literally don't talk about it. But one of the things we talked about was building that wall up between offense and defense. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter what's happening here, you might not have gotten that 2 RBI hit. God dang it, you're gonna save 2 runs right here.
Absolutely.
Love that.
You know, if you can throw out 7 guys in a game, let's throw out 7 guys, because that next base hit, that guy's not getting in. Or if there's a guy at third and you can block 5 balls in the dirt, do that. So it was building a wall between that to where it's like, whatever happens here isn't going to affect me here. If anything, it's going to kind of motivate me to do even more. Yeah. And so that's where that kind of came from. So me knowing each and every guy on that staff, like we were just talking about, I think that's so crucial for me. And not only for me, but for that guy out there, more importantly. Right. Yeah. Like, I need to know his tendencies. I need to know how he works. Like, if he's a guy, I got to amp up. You know, there's certain guys I'm nonstop talking to. After every out, I'm walking in front of that plate, and I'm giving them, whether it's a confidence deal, reassurance, it doesn't matter. Or there might be a guy where with the new pitch clock, I know that clock's not starting until he gets the ball in his hand and he's back on the rubber. So I'm going to walk a little bit, take my time, and let him slow the game down. And I think that's something so important for everybody.
Fucking love catchers.
I think people forget. They don't. That's the stuff that people don't see, right?
I say that. Yeah, like they don't even notice.
If you haven't played it and you haven't been in that situation, you hadn't been in the heat of the battle. Like, people don't understand how important. Because we talked about that before the year. I was like, I think the biggest issue with the pitch clock is going to be
speeding the game up.
When the game speeds up and the guy needs to calm it down, right? To be able to control their breaths, control their mindset, control their heart rate. But sometimes you don't have the ability because of the pitch clock, you have to rush. And, like, the fact that you understand that and see it, like, that's huge.
Yeah, you know, someone else that's really good at it is Jordan Thompson. Mm-hmm. Like, you only have so many coach visits that coach can take out there. Yeah. Like, it's –
I don't know if the man's won a challenge yet.
Yeah, I don't want my coaches worrying about when they have to tell me to go talk to a guy or whatnot. And Jordan Thompson's really good at it, too. Like, you'll see him come in. Yep. And like, hey, slow the game down. I couldn't imagine my freshman year having a pitch clock, and it's like, oh, crap, I got to get back in the box. Oh, crap. You're already sweating back there. Like, just having the ability to slow the game down. And I know when I got, like, a freshman out there on the mound, like, it can get fast. Yeah. And I've played in front of the crowds. I grew up going to games here, so, like, just being more of a veteran guy, I guess you say, which you see across the board on this team, is like helping those guys slow the game down and them not feeling like, hey, one mistake's in the world. Yeah, you know,
you're like a coach on the field,
right? Yeah, you know, you try to be like that. Coaches can only say so much. Yeah, I feel like like y'all probably could relate to this. Like, coming from an older guy or somebody that's been through what you're going through, like, you can relate to it so much more.
So when and I don't want to talk a lot about the struggles, right? But like,
no, we can talk about.
But you went through.
I ain't struggling no more.
You went through your deal, right? You went through it. Then you had COVID, and then you had. Well, I guess you went through. Was it after COVID?
Yeah, my true freshman year was like 16 games COVID.
Yeah. And then you come back, and then you have this year. Then you're not the starter, right? You're the second catcher. Brady Neal's basically catching majority of the year. Young kid, doing well, doing fine. He goes down. They insert you in the game, and all the whole time through, Jay said, "I have confidence in Alex. I know if I can put him back there, he's going to be fine." He's made a lot of improvements on the offensive side of the baseball, and then boom, you get your opportunity. How did you manage that as far as like the mental side of it goes and the way that you keep yourself up? Because we talked about, I asked you if you're having fun. You said, "This is the most fun I've ever had playing baseball." Hayden Travinsky said the exact same thing, and y'all are kind of in the same situation. He had a pretty good year last year swinging the bat. Both of y'all kind of saw the playing time kind of diminish a little bit, but y'all both said the same thing. How do you get to that point, and like what goes into that?
Well, me and Hayden came in the same class, man, and like I freaking love our routine we have. Like I was telling y'all before we got on there.
He's a character too. Both of y'all have.
We have a blast.
He got the Jack Park.
Me and him are working together for 30. You give us an hour in the day to work together with Coach Josh Jordan, like. He's got to stay on us to get work done.
Here for an hour, got 30 minutes done.
Yeah, so our routine right now is, so we hit BP, we do all that stuff, pregame meal, hit BP. As soon as we come in from BP, we hit the showers, get dressed, we go down the indoor. I got my phone with me. We're blasting Bob Marley pregame, going through our stretching, like pregame catching work. We're blasting Bob Marley, like cutting up, having a good time. And so are the position players. Like, we're dancing in the locker room, doing all kinds of crazy crap, dude. And, everybody's just loose.
Yeah.
You know, you're going in the game loose. It's not you're not sitting there 5 hours before the game biting your nails or, like, you're not even thinking about the game. Like, you're focused on it.
Right.
But you're loose.
Yeah.
And, like, you're having fun, man. Like, we're cutting up in the dugout, dancing in the dugout after we score a run. That's how the game should be.
Yep.
Like, you shouldn't be sitting in the dugout sweating or worrying. Nobody ever hits the panic button on this team. Like, we went down Sunday, and you don't see at-bats changing, guys swinging at anything, you know. Guys trying to do too much. It's just like my dad used to say this when he coached us at football. You just start wearing on teams. Like, you start chopping away on that tree. You take your axe out there and you just start chopping away. Eventually that thing's going to fall, you know, and you just start pounding pitchers and you just start pounding that bullpen, and then eventually that other team's going to fall.
Jay?
For you, so we've had a couple of Orms come in here and talk about him, but the arrival of Wes Johnson, how has that upgraded the pitching staff, and how has that helped your game and those guys' game as well?
Yeah. First of all, he's
that says a lot.
Yeah. You look up any pitching video on YouTube or something, Wes Johnson's on it.
Yeah.
Like, considered one of the best. Yeah. And I didn't even think it was possible to get a big league coach to come back to college baseball. First of all, like, but I guess you're at LSU, you can do that, you know.
That's it.
I guess Scott Woolward doesn't care about that much. He just wants to win, man.
Who do we need? How do we need?
Yeah.
Which is great.
Like, I think he was with the Twins,
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
number one pitching staff.
They were first place in the division
Yeah.
when he decided to come back to LSU.
Yeah.
When
Like,
he took
that's
the job at that point,
huge. And then, so he comes in, and it's immediate development. Like, I think first pin I caught back was Skeens and Grant Taylor, and I see him roll out this mound, and it's got, like, all kinds of data in this mound they're throwing on, and the West has TVs all over the dang place. I can barely see the ball because there's so much technology in the dang place. He forgets I got to even see the ball to catch it. Well, I mean, dude, like, what he's done for a lot of those guys has been unreal to watch from where they started day one. Like, Griffin Herring, day one, I caught him in the pen in the pitching lab, and he kind of was all over the place, and then it was like, kind of had some secondary pitches. Then you looked at what Wes has done for him now, and like some of his terminology he speaks to him, and the maturity like he talks to some of these guys with, and it's just been unreal. And for me too, it's been a lot of fun working with him, talking about how we're going to pitch guys, what am I looking for, and it's being older, like you already have an idea, and then getting a guy like him that's done it in the big leagues, it's a game changer.
People talk about a lot. Like, I mean, first of all, the team's super talented. Not just offensively. Offensively, you know what you're going to get. Pitching staff coming into the season, I thought that they were going to be as deep and as good as they have ever been, maybe at LSU, right? You had Skeens, You had Ty Floyd, who finished the season off strong last year, throwing mid-90s. Thatcher Hurts coming in with all this hype. Christian Little came in with a lot of hype. You had Grant Taylor, who's supposed to be a first-rounder. You had Garrett Edwards, who was going to kind of emerge. He started to emerge. And then you had Chase Shorts, who's throwing 100 miles an hour as a freshman, right? Like, you have all of these arms. Well, then the season happens. Like every season, injuries happen. Grant Taylor goes down. Garrett Edwards goes down. Chase Shores goes down. And some of these guys are kind of struggling a little bit to kind of find their way. And then you have to go back to the – people talk, the depth of the bullpen isn't good. I would argue and say I think the depth of the bullpen is better than it's ever been because you have all these guys that have gone down and you still have guys who are talented and capable. They just may not have been the guys that you expected to rely on right now because they're young. How do you manage the young guys in the bullpen right now and get them ready? Because let's be real. Let's be honest. The season's going on right now, but the real season starts in 4 weeks after when you get to the postseason play because y'all are going to be hosting a regional. You're going to be hosting super regionals, and the ultimate goal is Omaha. Yeah, of course you want to win the SEC and do all those things, but right now you've put yourself in a position where, okay, we need to do what we need to do, get these guys ready to get to the postseason. How have you helped manage that? Obviously you have Wes and Jay doing their thing, but it's important for the catchers and the guys to help these pitchers work and these young guys kind of develop. What have you done to help that?
So, like, what you just listed was, like, 4 dudes that got hurt.
Right.
Like, dudes.
First rounders, probably.
Like,
well, top 3 rounders.
Elite stuff in college baseball.
Yep.
So what the message has been is like, hey, we're not gonna sit around and feel sorry for ourselves and like beat our head against the wall. Like, yeah, it happened. Yeah, it sucks. I feel bad for those guys because I mean, those are like my brothers. Those guys I'm around every day.
Right.
And we're there for them every step of the way, like rehabbing. Me and Beloso were in the training room this past summer rehabbing knees together. And it's tough. It sucks, dude. It's a grind. Then you see a guy like Javen Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Coach has said it a bunch. Like, Coach literally told him, hey, we'll see you in 2024.
Yeah, I can't believe he's pitching. He's throwing almost 3 innings in an outing now.
He threw in the regional for Oregon against us, had, like, unreal numbers and stuff. And by the way, that team started out like how you were saying, like, that team that made it to Supers, we were 1-9. And then you just get hot at the right time.
Right.
But, like, back to your question, after losing 4 dudes, like, we're not sitting around feeling sorry for ourselves. It's literally next man up. And when you have that thought process and, like, you watch the work these guys put in with Wes Johnson in the pitching lab and you watch what they're doing on an everyday basis, it's tough not to get behind guys like that.
You feel like they're going to get better? Like, they've gotten better. Obviously, you've seen it. But, like, as they continue to pitch, right, as Gavin Guidry continues to have more opportunity in the back end of the bullpen, as Ackenhausen throws a lot more coming back from injury because he was great before he got hurt, as, Bryce Collins has more high leverage situations, as Thatcher starts to throw maybe more out of the back end of the bullpen, because I've talked about this, and you don't have to tell me what the plan is, right? But, you losing those guys that we had talked about, that's 4 power righties that you've lost. I feel like we're as good as we can be lefty out the pen. You don't have that power swing and miss stuff from the righty out the pen anymore. But Thatcher Hurd, if he's going to be out the back of the bullpen, you potentially have that ability with him, right? So do you see these guys like continue to have more opportunity and to be able to get better to where when it does come time for SC tournament, regional, super regional, you feel like, okay, these guys are going to be ready to go out there and do what they need to do at the end of the game?
Yeah, I think it was Friday. No, it was Saturday night. You saw Thatcher Hurd coming out the pen. That's like he's got elite stuff.
Yeah.
Like you facing him in the fall and early spring, that dude has elite stuff.
When he's right, he's right. When he's wrong, what goes wrong with him?
I'm not Thatcher Hurd, so
right.
like, I don't want to answer it for him, but like
from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean it could be just like trying to maybe do too much,
right.
nibbling at the zone or whatever, but that dude has elite stuff and when I was back there, I came in and caught the 9th inning Saturday, and when I was catching him, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, it looks good.
His fastball's freaking on. Like, it is riding through the zone. It's not a fastball. It's just like, bam. It's like, it's coming through me. Like, it's one of those fastballs when you catch it's like, bam.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's a heavy fastball, and he's got great crap to go with it, too.
Yeah.
Elite stuff.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people might have looked at, even like you look at Sunday, like what some of our pitchers did, and you could easily look at that and be like, oh, man, that wasn't a good performance. whatever. No, it was.
Right.
Like, look at Christian Little, what he did in the first
grinded.
couple innings. He grinded his freaking butt off, and I was grinding with him. And that was my message. Coach was like, hey, empty the tank right here. And that was my message to every guy that came in. I think we threw like 7 guys. I was like, empty the tank right here on this batter. Let's go. Like,
I love that.
Then you get to the next guy. We're not worried about how many runs are scored, how many guys are on base. Empty the tank right here. We're putting everything, all our eggs in this basket right here on this one guy. Then we'll move on to the
we'll
next.
figure it out after that.
We'll figure it out later. Like, the offense is going to put up numbers. We got y'all.
Yeah.
And they bailed us. They bailed the offense out. We bailed them out, and that's how a team works. Like, when you have confidence in each and every guy. But back to what I was saying, like Christian Little, when you look at like TrackMan zone numbers, like you can see the true strike zone, then you see the borderline strike zone. The umpire behind me was very good. He had a true MLB zone, did not miss, equal for both sides.
Brian?
I think that's who it was.
Was that who it was?
Brian. On
He
Sunday.
he had a true zone. Like, he did not miss very many pitches.
Brian's had I think he's been in a Futures game before. I think he's yeah.
Dude, he had great zone, and like we had him last year at Vanderbilt. I had a great zone, but also at the same time, I was thinking in that first inning when I was catching, I was like, oh, all right, you give us that tight zone, and you stay consistent the whole game.
We're gonna score some
It's
runs.
looking good for our offense too.
Yeah.
So I mean, for them to minimize damage in that, each guy coming in minimizing damage, like Christian, yeah, he might have walked some people, but I was catching, and it's like very small misses.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times that's gonna get called. It just didn't get called that day.
Right.
But he competed his butt off, and then look at the guys that came in after him. It was the same thing. Like, it might have been for 2 batters, but
Right.
they did their job. Like, you look at Bryce Collins' outing right there, and you might say, "Oh man, he walked 2 guys." Yeah, that's two of the hottest hitters on the weekend.
Right.
He didn't give in.
5 for 5 against
He didn't
teams.
give in, and then what happened right after that? He didn't give in to those 2 batters. They didn't swing the bat. They didn't hit the ball over the fence or whatever. They didn't hurt you. Here comes Coop, slams the door right there, and the rest is history in that game. But like,
Yeah.
that was a big pitching performance by Bryce on 2 batters, not giving in, not deciding, hey, I'm just gonna hang this one right here.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, no, he competed his butt off too, even though it was 2
Picking up
walks.
each other. That's
Right.
the biggest thing.
Man, you talk about the next man up situation, and the name I'm about to mention now has got to be one of the most, like, just feel good stories to be around and watch him do his thing this year. Just knowing where he comes from, knowing his career here, and knowing what this year is for him. But talk about K. Beloso and what he's able to do this year.
Yeah, I got a belly full of crawfish right now. We're just blowing some crawfish together.
Hey,
dude.
Dad can do. It was just y'all.
Yeah, it was just us. We had
I
a
love
couple
that.
guys over. Like, we were just hanging out off day, boiling some
Y'all
crawfish.
use that Beloso spice.
I don't know what we were using, but
I
they're
imagine.
freaking good. I'm stuffed, man. But no, that's a dude that's gonna be staying in my wedding. I'll be staying in his wedding. That's one of my closest friends. And man, before I even get to anything on the field, like what he's meant to me off the field.
Right.
He went through that knee injury, and like hated to see it for a guy like that who was starting that night. I was almost sick to my stomach, like playing,
Right.
knowing what was going on with him that night. But
Got a little too
Like-
sturdy.
Jesus.
yeah, but like what he's done, the work he's put in to be able to come back and do what he's done, man, it's unbelievable. And like he was like literally a shoulder for me to lean on in this summer and throughout the whole season. Like going through the same injuries, missing the whole season really, and then going through rehab because rehab sucks.
Right.
Like
Terrible.
nobody likes going to it every day. You're doing the same crap over and over and over. Which shout out to our Corey Couture who was with us, like helping us, and Amanda was there too. But man, he's been nothing but awesome for me. And then on the field, like I just smile every time he comes up to bat. Like that's not a guy that sat around and complained. Nobody on this team has ever done that about what position they're in. It's like we're all competitors. We all want to be on the field playing. Nobody wants to sit the bench. Like nobody. I never seen a guy playing at LSU say, "Man, I'm happy sitting the bench." Like everybody wants to play. That's why you play the game. You want to be the guy coming up in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, getting a big hit. And like when we were at Ole Miss Sunday, and I was swinging the bat well, but we needed a home run right there. Coach pinch hits Travinsky. And I wasn't like, oh, my God, he done. No, man. First thing I walked up to that guy, hey, let's go. It's your time, baby. Let's go. And he did it.
Yeah.
And, like, the events leading up to that was funny.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this dude's contemplating if he should wear the sunglasses to the players or not. And he walks up there with the most swag.
Mustache, sunglasses.
Freaking hits it. That's
great pimp job.
Oh, my
great
God.
bat drop.
He's the best at it.
Yeah.
He's
a great bat. He's a big
But
motherfucker.
full Jack Bartman.
Like,
It's a large human.
that's what makes this team so awesome, man. It's like you look at some of the guys that were on the bench or still are on the bench or back and forth, and it's like, holy crap, we got some talent. We got depth.
Yeah.
And then nobody's complaining about the position they're in. Nobody's, being a bad teammate and dragging guys down with them. Like, something we talked about, too, in the fall was, like, everybody, this team, like, you don't want arrows going each direction. Like, when everybody's arrows going the same way, that's what you got right now, greatness is going to happen. And, like, both those guys, all three of us, we weren't starting at the beginning of the year, and now we're playing, and like you don't sit around and sulk, you just compete, man. Yeah. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. You talked about wanting to be that guy, right? In that moment, get the big hit, make the big play. You were that guy on Sunday. 9-9, tie game, bottom of the 7th inning. You have the opportunity to go and drive the go-ahead run, and you go and you get the job done, right? After everything that you had been through in the last couple years leading up to that situation, to be in that situation, to be able to come through in that situation, that had to feel pretty good, huh?
Did you peek in the dugout?
What's that?
Did you peek in the dugout to see if Travinsky was getting the sunglasses on?
Oh, man, I wasn't even worried about it. I was so locked in. I was like, let's go. Let's go. Let's get it, man. And then when you come through in something like that and you look at the teammate.
Better.
Teammates are freaking going crazy in the dugout. Crunk ain't dead's probably playing on the boombox or whatever.
Boombox is back?
I think it's kind of made a resurrection this weekend. Like, we were playing, guys are dancing in the freaking dugout.
I love that.
Going crazy, man. And like when I looked at the dugout, I just lost one of those blackout type moments where you're beating your chest, screaming.
No doubt.
Yeah, it fires me up, dude.
Dude, we're getting to the point in the year where you got 3 SEC weekends left. School's almost out. I can remember
favorite time of the year.
This is the best time of the year, and I can remember watching the game on Sunday at home, and they pan to the grandstand behind home plate, and it's probably the 7th or the 8th inning, and there's a ton of people still in the standing room only spot, right? This is the time of year you play for. And this is, in your career that you've been here, the best team that y'all have had, and you know what this place is like when it gets to that point of the year and how the fans react to it and what kind of engagement you get. How much are you looking forward to, like that school's out feeling and it's only ball? Like, how much are you looking forward to
Let me tell you something. I'm so tired of stressing about finance. Like, dude, I've been hammering Shark Tank on TikTok, learning all this crap. Like, that's how I passed my first exam in finance this year, is from Shark Tank. Every bit I knew on the test was Shark Tank. I try to know it, and I'm just terrible at math or whatever, dude. But like, when you tell me, finance is behind you, you've graduated, and you can just go play ball, like, fires me up.
Yeah.
Fires me
That's
up.
what I was telling Lloyd. I said the best moments in 2009 that I had outside of winning the national championship was whenever you got past that point of like finals in school, and you have that month of like, oh, we're at home, we're hosting all these games.
It's like pro ball.
Like pro ball, except more off days.
Yeah.
So you finish the weekend series, you have that off day on Monday. What happens? You go practice and you got pool party. You go hang out at the pool with the boys. You go do whatever you got with the boys. You go practice, go to the pool with the boys. Like, you have the ability to like be just normal people for a little bit, like pro ball, and play, and then you go out there and you take care of business and you win. But you can only do that when you got a team full of guys who understand what they're trying to do, right? Not a team full of like young dudes who don't really know it. You got to have guys that, all right, we can go and have fun, but we know when to bring it back. And that's that was the best times that we had.
Yeah, like so like going into postseason baseball, like it's something I look forward to so much because I was a kid that grew up here. Right. Going to postseason games, like I remember there's 2 bad ones. I think Stony Brook and like Coastal Carolina. It's 2 bad ones.
Tough ones.
Yeah, like it's electric.
Yeah,
It is.
It is
But
awesome.
different.
At the same time, like, just a little insight on the team and stuff. Like, you got a lot of veteran guys on this team, and a lot of us have been playing together for 3-4 years together. So it means a lot to us. Like,
Yeah.
Some of us are like, man, every year, like, you have guys coming back, but it's never the same team. It's never the same.
Never.
Right.
Never is. And we were talking about this on the bus ride back from Ole Miss. After that Sunday game at Ole Miss, we're riding the bus back, hammering some Domino's pizza in the back of the bus. And we just started, like, you know how bus talk
Yeah,
is.
of
Like, you're
course.
getting the best conversations.
Yep, it's the best.
And we were talking, we were like, man, I don't want this to end.
No.
Like, I know it's early, but, like, we're just sitting there talking about, like, dude, this team is special.
Yeah.
Outside of winning all that, like, this team is freaking special. Like, what we have going on and how close. Like, you look around that room, you look in each locker, and you're like, great guy, great guy, great guy,
Yeah.
great guy, great guy,
Well,
great guy.
and the superstars are those guys, right? Like, you have the
Yes.
veterans, you have and the guys who are supposed to be the assholes are not. They're the opposite, right?
Great
they're
guys, man.
They're the best, right? And, like, that means a lot, right? And that's you have to have it all.
Hey, that's something I look forward to, like, in the outside of the baseball aspect of it is, like, outside of school, like, being able to hang out with the guys every day.
Yep.
You know, like, we'll come into practice 3-4 hours early, and we're just, you know, chalking it up in the locker room hours before practice, having the best time. And that's something that makes this team special is, like, how tight it is and the leadership we have. The veteran guys leading the younger guys, and the younger guys being, like, leaders themselves, like, just doing the right thing. And the maturity in that locker room, but also the ability to cut loose and, like, separate the stressful game at times to having fun.
It's just so funny you talk about, like, just being able to hang out with the boys. I can remember in 2009, dude, like, we played every game there was to possibly play. We ended up winning it all. We partied our butts off there in Omaha. We come back and, like, no one wanted to leave the clubhouse. He was like, we don't, like, I don't want this is over now. But, like, no one wanted it to end, and that's that.
It's a bad
I
feeling.
bring it up because that it really is. It sucks. You can't duplicate that
You're
anywhere
right. The
else
teams
in
are
life.
never the same.
And you can never duplicate that anywhere else in life. But the point of it being is that's the feeling of championship ball. Like, having guys that care about each other and care about playing with each other that much that when you, like you said, you show up 3.5 hours early just to be around the boys.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I'm here just to be around. I don't have anything that I have to do here for another 3 hours. But I'm
Dude,
here.
it's like practice games. It doesn't matter. 6 a.m. It's like you're happy to go to the field.
Yeah.
Because the guys there. That's what makes it great.
No doubt.
Like the people in the clubhouse, from the coaches to the training staff to the guys in the locker room. It's awesome, man.
Everybody holds everybody accountable.
Well, I feel like it's a testament to, obviously, Jay, because he brought in
Yeah.
so much talent. Like, obviously, you're part of he brings in Brady Neal, you have Travinsky, and then you're still on, like, you have a three-headed monster almost at catcher. But that's not the only position where it's like that, to where everybody is having to compete for a position, it feels like, every day. It could have been easy for y'all to be, like, almost minor league baseball, like, I'm out to get mine. You know, every time I'm trying to show up and go put up a number. But instead, it's gone the opposite way. We're like, no, I want to hang out with everybody on the squad. Like, he's got you all on a mission to do, like, one common goal, it feels like.
Yeah, and it's like you kind of hit it on it. Hats off to coach for this, but, like, not only bringing in talent, but bringing in, like, great dudes.
Good dudes.
Great dudes. Like, you're not bringing in just guys because they have talent. You're bringing in guys because they have talent, but they have the piece that's most important is the mindset piece. That's the most important thing. That's what's made this team who we are, you know, is the mindset.
Y'all come here to
aspect
do
of it.
one thing.
Yeah. We're showing up to win, dude, and, like, every day, like, coach preaches it to us. It's a playoff game every day. It's a 56-game
Just win.
playoff. And when you play a game like that and you have a coach who's preaching, it's a 56-game playoff. By the time you get into those big games, it's another game.
It's another game. And the SEC trains you for that. It puts you in a position for that, right? I've always said, you know, Omaha is where you want to be. You want to win the national championship. But sometimes Hoover is the most challenging tournament that you're going to face, right? Because you're facing some of the best teams in the country that may not make it to Omaha because they're facing maybe play each other or whatever. And, like, all of that prepares you for that deep run into the postseason.
No doubt.
So Man, I'm looking forward to it. I know he's looking forward to it. I'm gonna be in Hoover actually.
Yeah.
When y'all are there, so I'm gonna come and see the boys for a little bit. But I'm gonna be there. You're gonna be there too.
Oh,
Shakespeare himself.
that's right.
Yeah, we're on Shakespeare. Shakespeare. I think that's.
Don't call him that. 'cause
I
he's gonna
like
keep-
that.
He's gonna keep doing this shit
I
if
like
you call him
that.
that.
Shakespeare.
I looked at Beloso when you texted me that. I was like, dude, what the hell does this mean? What is this?
Kane's not gonna know either.
No, he looked at me and was like, I don't know what it is.
I don't know who to ask in that locker room, to be honest.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you what it meant either. I still don't know what it means. Can you tell me what that means? Can you tell me?
No, I just said it's a little bit hard to get to the studio, right? Like, there's some people come to the front and they don't know where to park, and that door's always locked. You're gonna have to come around back. It's a bit of a labyrinth to get here. And he was like, "What the fuck is a labyrinth?"
What is a labyrinth?
I guarantee you, Lloyd didn't know how to spell it. The
Oh.
iPhone helped him. Let's just be honest about it.
No, I think I do have confidence in Lloyd's ability.
LABYRINTH, labyrinth.
Don't say it now as if like you didn't see it when you wrote it.
Well, sixth grade.
So what does it mean?
Champ.
What does it mean?
Sixth grade.
What does it
And
mean?
fifth grade, back to back.
I can tell you.
Sixth and
I can
fifth
tell you,
grade.
labyrinth wasn't in your 5th and 6th grade spelling bee.
Oh, I was reading at a 6th grade level when I was in 2nd grade. Coach.
Okay,
Jesus.
what does it mean?
It's a maze. It's like a hard way to find something. Pan's Labyrinth is a movie.
Man, you could have just said, "Oh, it's a maze."
A lot simpler.
Well, dude, I really appreciate this. You're one of my favorites that we've ever talked to because personality obviously shows in the answers, and you love the game. You can tell you love LSU, which all of that like hits home for me because we kind of feel the same way. Like that's how we were, right? And so, man, keep doing what you're doing. I've always been a fan. Obviously, I've known you for a few years. Your sister used to come get spray tans for my wife.
Yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah. But man, I am a fan of yours, and I'm looking
Mikey
forward
just
to watching.
got one.
Yeah,
Spray
can you
tan.
tell?
Yeah, it looks good for the camera.
I'm looking forward to seeing how the year pans out. Obviously, I have no doubt in my mind that y'all are going to be where y'all need to be. But, man, anytime you want to come back on, we'd love to have you back on. So we may have you back on
love it, man.
when
I
the
enjoyed
postseason play comes.
What happened on that pass ball? From Bear Jones to
Jesus.
the pitcher that wasn't behind you.
Oh
Did you
my
get blocked
God.
off? Because we had this conversation.
God.
You couldn't see it, right?
is it?
No, I'll answer it. It's
no,
a fair
no,
question. It happened. Yeah, dude. I called my dad after that, and he was like,
Son.
how did that ball get by you? Like, what happened? Like, you've been making that play since you were 8. And I was just like, dude, I know. I was like, I know. It was just a bad game overall, man. Like, we had a lot of crazy crap happen.
That was
game.
crazy. I mean, they had pulled some plays out of their ass.
First off, I'm just gonna be honest with you, dude. I am so appreciative of you just being straight up right there. You realize, like, Lloyd asked you that because that is completely off script. Because Lloyd has been in his mind saying for the last 10 days that the only reason he missed that is because he got blocked. I'm like, Lloyd.
No,
This is just
Sometimes
this is
it
a
happens.
That's one of the ones where you look back, you're like, hey, so me, dog.
That's
I
like
messed
the
it up.
biggest thing
Well,
I
Paul
could
should have been backing you up, too. I don't know where we're seeing.
Oh,
like,
my God.
So, like, something I would say to anybody playing here, like, I tell guys this all the time. Look, anything that happens to you, like, playing in front of 13,000 people, you're going to be on TV. You're probably going to be on ESPN. It's going to get blown up. It's not that big of a deal.
No.
Not that big
It happens.
Something else going to happen
It
on the
happens.
news.
I've made so many mistakes in my baseball career. So has every guy here. I mean, y'all can attest to this. Like,
Shit, I made more
This
baseball
game,
mistakes
like-
than anybody out here.
you're gonna get picked off. You're gonna miss a ball. You're gonna make bonehead decisions. Like, you're gonna mess up, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
What matters is how you respond to it. The
Yeah.
more times you do it, okay, we got an issue.
Yeah,
but if
make
it
it
happens
habit.
and you fix it. That's
Yeah,
just
like-
part of the game.
So, like, going through the play, like, the ball, it was supposed to be cut, didn't get cut. I was going to block it.
Didn't block it.
I thought it was gonna bounce up. I came up right to the 5-1. I turned around, and man,
You
it
hear
rolled to
the hockey
backside,
buzzer
and I
go
was like-
off.
Dude, when I felt that ball go between my legs, and I turned around, I was just,
I guess I got to go get it.
dude, it was just one of those feelings that makes you like sick to your
That's the
stomach while
worst.
you're playing. You're just like, oh, I can't
So-
believe I did
You're like,
that.
yep.
So how about this? So funny story, right? So 2009, we're playing the Super Regional against Rice, right? Anthony Rendon is a freshman that year.
Oh yeah.
Up until
He's probably there.
No,
up until
I
Dylan
watched
Cruz.
this game. I
Right.
watched this game.
Up
Rice
until
is
Dylan
good.
Cruz Anthony Rendon was the best college hitter I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Anthony Rendon, Cruz is better.
It's freshman year, too.
Yeah, his freshman. He had 380 with 20 his freshman year.
Showed up here with 380 with 20 and 80.
Yeah, something stupid.
Was Nate Fury on that team?
No. That was Matt Fury. No. Nobody.
No,
neither one of the Furies were on the
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Nate came after me. So I'm in center field. We're up by 6 runs. This is probably the sixth or 7th inning. My friend Paul Bertesini's on the mound. He gives up a fly ball to me in center field, routine fly ball, and I'm underneath it, and I'm like kind of not pimping it, but like kind of get caught on my heels, and I just like whatever, clanked it.
You've done it 1,000 times. And it just
clanked
happens.
it, right? That would have been 3 outs. The next guy is Anthony Rendon. 3-run home run off the scoreboard. So now the 6-run lead turns into a 3-run lead. We end up winning by 3. But I haven't dropped the fly ball all year. It wasn't even running for it. I was just there and I just kind of like alligator armed it and it clanked it. Like it happens.
Yeah,
it sucks.
dude,
It
like,
did not feel good. I dropped it and I wanted to go hide in a hole. I didn't want to play.
That's my thing. Like sometimes mistakes like that can get in people's head or whatever.
I don't think that happens to you.
Yeah, my thing is like playing the game with no fear.
No doubt.
Zero fear.
That's the
As
best
weird
way
as
to
it
do
was, when I made mistakes in the outfield, I used to want to look at fans like in the face.
Yeah.
Like basically to show you like, yeah, I fucked that one up. I know. It's okay.
Yeah, like-
it's all right. Like look at me. I'm not looking away from you. Like I want you to know that I know that you know that was my fault.
Yeah.
So I'm good. Like I can go to the next play. Like it kind of helped me get to the next one as opposed to like just beating myself up over about it.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, Grandpa, back there.
Yeah, like I heard. I hear every word you're saying. Like I'm not gonna act like I don't hear you. I hear you. Yeah,
don't
I know.
have to
I did
remind
it.
me about
You'll
it.
stop sooner if I just look at you. Yeah. So like that's literally how I used to go about it.
I heard you
Seriously.
the first 5 times.
1000%, dude.
It's the next game, buddy. Like, I know. I messed up.
I'll be here next week too when you're here.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
I don't mean to keep the show.
No, this is great.
No.
This is great.
Like, I
No,
don't
keep
know.
going. Keep going.
We literally have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, this is it. We're going to shut it down after you get off anyway.
Yeah, when you said like base running mistake.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Freshman year.
Yeah, go. Tell me yours.
Freshman year, we were at Minute Maid, and Coach Maneri's signs are so simple.
So
Like,
simple.
so hard. So hard. And it just so happened, like, that was my
High school baseball.
Yeah,
right?
that was my kryptonite. was being able to lock in, look at them, and whatever.
He's a catcher.
Yeah, catch no worries.
Catch
I get
is
on
different.
base
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
look
yeah.
at coach and
Call
I'm
my own
like,
signs.
because I know if I mess up,
Oh, yeah.
I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because he
I got
made
it.
him so simple that you like. He was like, if you mess this
Yeah.
up, like I'm all over you. Like, I don't know.
It
I
didn't
think
help.
He touched that.
It didn't help. I had Hunter Keel trying to help me with the signs. Like y'all probably know Keel is the best.
Yeah.
It started out UMass. We were playing UMass like a week before we went to Minute Maid, and Hal was up to bat. I was on first, and Coach went to the signs.
Well, Hal's gonna bunt.
Yeah, yeah. I went through and I looked at Keel and I was like, Keel, what did he just give? And Keel looked at me and was like, I'm not looking delay steal. I was like, delay steal?
To me?
With no outs? And, like, what? And he goes, yeah, delay steal. I was like, oh my God, all right.
Which is awful. I hate delay steals.
Hell yeah.
I shuffle him. Go. Take off. Thank God Hal bunted the ball. Because I would have.
Right.
So already had trust issues in myself. Fast forward, Minute Maid playing Baylor. Beloso was hitting behind me. I got on first on a walk. Freaking lefty on the mound. I don't even know what I was thinking. I thought he gave hit and run. We don't even hit and run with a lefty on the mound.
First move.
But no, I did it to perfection. I let that ball clear the face. So
You're not getting me.
Beloso didn't swing. I took my peek in halfway down. I took my peek in,
said I
and
was shit.
Beloso's just like, "What are you doing?" Instant panic mode. I slid in the second, hosed, and as soon as I popped up, I just looked at that outfield and stared, and I was like,
I'm done.
I didn't even look at Coach. He was down there. I knew he was pissed.
He's not gonna. He's gonna
First
follow
out
you
of the
too.
inning. First out of the inning. I ran specifically in Minute Maid, you have multiple entrances in the dugout. I ran to the very end, started putting my gear on. Out the corner of my eye, I saw him coming. I was like,
That's so funny you said this.
Just don't
I
give him
got
eye
the
contact.
exact same.
Don't give him
story.
eye contact.
No. Hey,
what are you thinking?
what do you think I was thinking? Nothing. I messed up.
Look, Coach, are you just too dumb to play? Yeah.
Oh no, you too dumb to play.
I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said it.
Hey, in that same regional, the one I clanked the fly ball, I'm at second and third, 1 out, right? And earlier in the year, I was ultra aggressive on a ground ball to short. I thought I could beat him at third. I got thrown out on a bang play at third base. And so Javi Sanchez was our third base coach at the time, and he was like, he said, hey, Took, see the ball through. Like, don't see it. See the ball through. Be smart. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm a freshman. I'm like, all right, be smart. It's the postseason. Actually, it's a regional, not super regional. I'm like, be smart. Like, see the ball through. Whatever, the whole deal.
Oh, they got
see
Mikey,
the ball
they got
behind me.
Mikey thinking.
So I'm thinking, right? So the whole time I'm locked in. Like, good secondary, waiting. Jared's hitting. He walks. I still think Jared's hitting. I'm not paying attention. I forget that he walked. So now bases are now loaded. There's not second and third. The next ball, hit to my right. Perfect shuffle, see the ball. Go all the way back second base. Jared looks at me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. So then I get run. It was such a bad base running mistake that they didn't even turn a double play because they didn't know what was going on.
You freaked them out.
I freaked them out. So, but this is the regional. You know how sometimes the regional you have to be the visiting team.
Yeah. Y'all
So
were
we
in
were
that
on the other
dugout.
dugout, and so whenever that happened, I just kept going to the back end of that dugout, and I went down the tunnel like I was gonna go to the bathroom. I didn't go to the bathroom. Maneri opened the door, and he did the same thing. Wore me out.
Going into the other dugout's an elite move. Yeah. It is, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't
Exactly what you're doing.
As soon as you start thinking on
over.
any point, as soon as you start thinking like, oh, man, I'm locked in, you're done.
It's over because you lose your instincts.
Oh, dude, you're so screwed.
He's literally running down to second base, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know what I'm doing." And I didn't. There's no words, but that's what my eyes. That's what his eyes said. That's what my eyes said. And he's like, "Oh, they didn't turn double play though."
It's so weird, dude. Like and you're probably at that spot now too in your mind where it's, dude, when you're young, just because you're put into situations that you've been in before, but realistically you haven't. Not under the I guess the light bulb and the magnitude that you are here or when you get here. It's just different, right? So like I completely don't really remember a lot of the younger things that I did, like the stupid mistakes I did, but I just remember like as I got older, the things I would do, like even in college, like as I got older, the things I would do that was dumb mistakes, and I just knew at that point how to deal with Maneri.
Yeah, right.
And then it was just like, all right, bro, like I know I'm about to get blasted for this, so I'm just going to look at him in the eyes.
It's just dealing with failure and like the small things don't affect you like they used to, and like if some idiot on Twitter wants to blow you up, or it doesn't matter. You're so focused on like the team and like what all you care about is what your teammates have to think about you. Like that's all that matters. And I wish I realized that when I was younger, but that's literally all that matters.
No, because when you show up here, at the end of the day, like let's be honest, like everyone's kind of trying to prove themselves. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you come in as the last man on the roster or the first man on the roster. It doesn't matter if you come out blazing or if you come out slow. Like everyone's trying to prove themselves, right? And when you go through mistakes, it just is what it is. It's like I'm doing something wrong at a different level in front of different eyes.
You play with a certain level of like freeness, I guess you could say.
You can try too hard.
No doubt.
Of course you can.
No doubt.
I tried to go from first to third.
That's
that's
one thing that it.
It was supposed to be a hit and run, and we're playing Ash, and it's our rival, and I'm 15 years old. And I see the hit and run, 3-1, he takes a walk, I go straight to third, and I almost got there because the catcher was like, what the fuck is he doing? And I looked at my coach because I was on third, there's nowhere to run. And he's like, what was that? And I was like, I'm still not sure. I think I'm just going to pack it up. I think we're good. And I had to have my mom drive me home because I'm 15. And I was like, this is the worst ride home of my entire life. I was like, that was tough. That was bad. I think I fucked that one up.
It definitely happens. 100% it happens. But as you get older, you just... Dude, I've done this before.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like slow heart rate going to the plate. It's not. Whereas, like I look back to myself sophomore year, like failure happens, start spiraling out of control. You start pressing. You start listening to everybody that tries to give you a little piece of advice, and
you
just
start asking, searching. You're like, oh, now I'm doing a million different things that I don't
dude,
even.
It's
know.
just
you have
such
no
a
clue who you
cluster,
are.
and then
Yeah.
you just start thinking about you like, oh, let me just take a step back. I've hit my whole life. I've played defense my whole life. I've done all these things great my whole life. Why am I trying to do this now? That's not the answer. I know the answer. Like, you just slow everything down.
That's it.
And you're able to like process stuff so much quicker.
Yeah.
Like when you were a freshman, you probably thought to yourself, I got delayed steal. And you're like, he just gave me delayed steal. I asked him, I guess I'll do it. Speed it up now. If you got that, he'd be like, well,
That's not. He didn't give me
well,
that.
I'm a catcher.
I would-
Probably
yeah.
didn't give it to me.
Yeah.
I'll act like I just got a bad jump, and then I won't go. Like, it's just like little stuff you're able to do it like that quick.
Or, like, looking back on it now, I just look at him like, hey, give it to me
Or
again.
give it to me again. Something.
I'm not
Something.
gonna-
Yeah.
I mean,
Or you could be like Ryan Schiff and tell the entire world that coach gave him the open steal sign with the open mouth on national TV with his press conference. How did you know to steal that? Well, coach gave me the open mouth, which means we can go. We can have the green light.
Yeah, we had to change that up. Yeah.
We changed it up in Omaha because of that. Because he just basically told everybody, hey, he does this, it means we're going.
coach would look at you.
He wasn't subtle.
Not at all.
That's
he
during
wasn't like,
COVID. After
Yeah.
COVID, he had that mask on, and he'd pull that mask out.
I think that means something. I don't know what something is.
Everybody knows something on.
Hey, seriously.
That's good subtle
His
right there,
signs
Coach.
used to be so simple that it was like, okay, I think he just gave it to me. He gave nothing else. And you'd be like, they got to know by now. It's game 3. Like,
Got
this
it.
is too easy.
Ochinko's deal with y'all. That crap is funny.
which one?
When y'all were just telling
Five
stories.
Oh, the stories,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I laugh so hard at that.
Dude,
crap,
because you
man.
can relate.
Because you know.
Yeah,
You know how he
It's
is.
funny.
He can smell it on me.
Is walking back, whatever, and come and get him with the bat deal. That's freaking hilarious.
So
That's
funny.
gold, man.
It's gold. It's gold. The stories can be forever. You can stay with us. We're going to shut it down, but we do our last segments. You're going to have part of the segment with us. We have 10 minutes left.
Oh,
Might
we
as
got
well.
one more
do it.
question because Hunter Fournette's blowing me up. Did you used to throw 97 off the bump?
It wasn't track man or nothing, but yeah, that is a true story.
Wow.
High school, senior year of high school, I was
You,
closing.
you're closed and you threw 97? Like
Yeah.
sitting 97 or touched it?
No, I touched it. I would sit like 2 to 5.
That's cheese. That's what that's
It's
cheese.
from throwing the football all the years, dude.
I agree.
That's cheese.
I believe
It does help.
I played quarterback my whole life.
Yep.
But not only that, like we'd go on vacation, we'd go on baseball tournaments, we'd take our
football.
boat out to the beach or whatever. We'd be on the boat on Crab Island, and me and my dad are long tossing a football. Like that's literally my throwing program now in the offseason. I long toss a football.
Yeah, that's what we used to do all the time too.
Yeah, I didn't get the benefits from it because my dumb ass decided to throw a
This
baseball.
guy, this guy played quarterback right-handed and played baseball left-handed.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why would you?
He threw the football
ask.
65 yards right-handed, but could not throw it left-handed. But could throw a baseball left-handed.
95.
Throw the ball, throw guys out.
The baseball comes out both sides really well. The football does not.
Football lefties are weird though. Like,
Football only
yeah.
righty, not so good lefty. Baseball could go either.
Do you know how athletic you have to be to figure that out? Be like, maybe try left-handed. Like, oh,
I don't.
this is
I'm
great.
not. I'm not exactly sure that that's how it happened.
This is so bad.
Hey, y'all like this though. Speaking of pitching, Pearson took me deep when I pitched to him.
Oh, really?
Like, I didn't start pitching until like 3 weeks left until I know this high school. but
This
he
year?
took me
Oh.
deep, and he was freaking good, man. Like,
You get hit, dude.
He can hit.
He raked.
Which is crazy.
Well, he came up and he had already hit a grand slam. This in playoffs in high school. He hit a grand slam. He came up. I didn't really know him at the time. Played against his older brother, but I didn't know him. I hit him right in the back first at bat.
Hell yes.
On purpose.
I said I've seen it happen once already. Nobody's on.
Here's
I
your
hit him right in
pass.
the back.
You can just go there.
Like after the game, he was like, "How hard was that ball?" He asked one of my buddies, Tom Biggs, and he texted me, and they had like the whatever miles per hour on the ball. He's like, "Yes, took that right in the back, didn't even hurt."
It's nuts.
The baseball players are nuts. They're like hockey guys. Not sort of. Hockey a little bit crazier than us. All right, let's shut it down. You can stay with us. Stay with us. We have the segments.
Yeah, don't say shut it down because that means people are going to leave.
Yeah, we're not shutting down. We have the segments. All right, so we got mistake of the day. You don't have one? I know we don't have one in here, but do you have? Oh,
We touched on it.
we touched
briefly.
on it. You can't show the video. What mistake
I
are
thought
you
he was
talking
giving
about?
the
Oh, we're
other
not
one.
doing that one.
No.
No,
Which one are you? Which one?
You being just
Okay, what's
got
your mistake of
Bickley.
the day is brought to you by our friends at Dozy.
Doe's Eat Place. Yeah, I thought me and Mikey had a good relationship. You know, this tends to happen to me. We get too close and people don't want to hang out with me anymore. I guess my personality's a little much. Text Mikey on Friday. I'm like, hey, you know, even before the game, he was like, yeah, I'll be out there. Holler at me when you get to the stadium. And I was like, that would be great. I'd love to watch the game with you. I don't have anybody else here to watch the game with. Text him, ghosted. It's okay, though, because the real mistake of the day turns into a curtain call because Maureen Johnson said, hey, come sit with me. LSU gets a win. Get to hang out with Jay after the game. So it all turned up roses, but me and Mike, you're on ice right now. We'll see. It's all because of golf, I guess.
Being that
Same thing happened to Ochinko. I beat him in golf, and he got all upset.
Being that you know me, and understand how I am as my personality.
Oh yeah, you always answer the phone to see it every day before the
butthurt
show.
over there.
Am I pretty ADD? I would imagine, right? Yep. Do I just talk to a bunch of people?
You're ADD unless it's very important.
Oh my god, here we go.
Just saying.
So what are you saying?
sorry.
Are you saying you're not important? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
What happened was I responded to him. I started to respond to him, and somebody approached me at the game, started talking to me. I had half of the text written out. Not being rude, I would start to talk. Then I grabbed a beer and I forgot to respond. Happens.
And now Lloyd thinks you don't like
now he thinks I ignored him on purpose.
That is what like ADD is. Though. Like,
Oh, I know. I have it in spades. I know what it is.
I have it myself, and like if something is important to you, you can watch it all day. But as soon as something ain't important to you, like class,
Finance.
you're just not.
Student athlete first,
I
baby.
had somebody. We went and ate at Mike Anderson's the other day, and this girl behind me was like, "Yeah, I'm graduating in bio, med, chemistry, whatever." And
You were really
I'm just-
listening.
I'm just like, damn, I can't even pass finance right now. I'm in sports admin. What am I doing?
Dude, I don't even think you're taking finance. I think you're taking accounting.
No, I passed that.
Oh,
He's
see,
past that.
The only reason I say that
Oh,
because
buddy, I got that on the third try.
second try for me, and it was only because the girl in front of me, they have like the lock screens that you can't see. You can see the one directly in front of you. And I was just like, sister, we're riding this out together. I don't know who you are or what you know about accounting, but you know more than I do.
How did you do?
71. Boom.
There you
Let's
go.
get the
Just
hell
Lloyd,
out of
he
here.
probably didn't even try to change one answer
No.
either. He just went straight.
Oh no,
down.
but I got eagle eyes, so I could see, and so that's the only thing that got. I would still be at LSU.
They're terrible.
All right, curtain calls brought to you by our friends down at Sure
Partners and
Me.
not Mikey today. You reprieved. One
I'm
game
You
suspension.
got one?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sexy.
keep this one real simple. Whatever he's eating, I want a lot of it, man. But 159 days, and Bryce Harper will be back in the lineup from Tommy John. So
From Tommy John.
the surgery, not
Not
the
Jimmy
surgery.
John's.
Yeah,
Tommy
not Jimmy
John,
John's.
Not Jimmy John's.
Like
Tommy
they
John.
actually cut that thing open, repaired it, and
And now he's
rehab,
throwing and hitting.
and he's throwing and hitting, and he's supposed to be DHing in 160. 59
Sounds like
days.
curtain call. That's big. That's
So
big.
my curtain call is to him and whatever. he's
Javin
eating.
Coleman.
I'd like to eat. I'd like to have a bit.
What's yours? You don't have one.
Do I have one?
I don't know.
You don't have one.
No,
All right,
I don't.
my curtain
I don't have a
call-
curtain call.
My
It's
curtain
okay.
call is to.
I was
look,
busy booking the guests.
We talked.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm glad you booked one.
Got one. Got one of the books.
It's baseball season. We talk a lot of baseball, but I also watch all the other sports. I've talked a lot about basketball. I actually gave a few curtain calls during the basketball playoffs. They have been electric. The hockey playoffs have been electric as well. But my curtain call right now is to Steph. Steph Curry apparently gave the best locker room speech of all time following Game 6, prior to Game 7. And comes out in Game 7, drops a 50 burger. And first guy ever in the history of NBA to drop 50 points in a Game 7, in a Game 7, does it with 50 cents in the stands, trolls 50 Cent after he scored 50 points.
The whitest man of all time.
50 Cent.
50 cents.
I meant to say points, but 50 Cent after scoring 50
Gives 50-50.
points. He goes 50-50. So that's my curtain call. This is Steph. Great show today, boys. Thanks, Alex Milazzo, for showing up.
My curtain
And-
call, Alex Milazzo.
Okay, there you go. Let's suck up. Just suck up a little bit more, huh? Great show. Love the show. Anytime you want to come on, come on. You can just come and shoot the shit anytime you want. If you're bored and you want to come. Do you
Don't
want
tell
to
me
actually?
that.
I meant to. Do you want to coach after baseball? Is that what you want to do or no?
Probably
You don't
gonna
know?
play.
You know, Coach.
Like after baseball,
Coach-
whenever baseball's done.
Coach has joked with me about it. He's like, "Hey, I might mess around and hire you as my recruiting coordinator one day." But
Oh,
here's-
that's the job I was going for.
But man, here's my thing. I've thought about coaching, and you play for so long,
I
and
feel the
like
same way.
it'd be tough to do it. I wouldn't mind doing it. Obviously, it'd be cool, but you got to start at the bottom. You're working your way
I
up.
feel
It's a
the same
grind,
Yep.
and I'm not
know.
sure what like pro ball has in store or any,
Right.
like.
That's what I said. After you're done, whenever.
Yeah,
that's
whenever I'm done, like, I want to have a family,
Yeah.
and I want to. You'll catch me in the woods every day, duck hunting, fishing, like
Yeah.
doing that type of stuff.
I
So
get it.
I don't know.
I get that.
I'm not gonna say it's completely out the window. You
Yeah.
know, I could be the head
What kind of
coach.
announcing?
Ooh, no
No,
shot.
but hey, anytime you want, that chair is yours.
Oh, bro, I enjoyed it. Like
Anytime. See,
Yeah.
the show's easy. Like, we don't. we just
we've
shoot the
joked
shit.
around about having podcasts at LSU. Like
Come
we're
on.
going.
Anytime.
Yeah,
Anytime you want, the spot's open. Come and shoot the shit. We can talk the game, do whatever.
I
We love it. Anytime you want. I appreciate you, dude.
Thank y'all. Thanks
Um,
for inviting me.
Thank everybody for watching, listening. Like and subscribe.
Oh, I forgot to go live.
Yeah. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you don't watch us or can't watch us, you can listen to us or anywhere you get your pods. We'll be back live in studio on Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. for Jay Johnson Wednesdays.
Jay Johnson, fresh with a microphone.
Jay Johnson fresh with a microphone. You convinced his wife to buy him one.
Yes. Tax write-off.
She's the best.
She's
the
great.
best.
She's the best.
She's awesome. So we'll be back live. I also have another show here a Friday from 1 to 3. Appreciate the love and support. Have a great rest of your Monday. See you on Wednesday. Peace.
Jay, I'll see you at Thanksgiving.
It's just so ridiculous, dude.